Is the 26th race of the NASCAR. It is the 26th race of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season, and it is the last race of the regular season. The final chance to make the playoffs is here for the stars and cars of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The playoffs are right around the corner, and it's time to make the postseason. Welcome to the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, just outside of St. Louis. Tonight, it's the final race of the Xfinity Series regular season, and we are ready for it. It should be an exciting show here tonight as we get ready to go in prime time with the New Way 200. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Gateway. Thanks for having us in for the race, USRN2 and JBM. We've got JT with us. He's coming right up in just a moment. As we mentioned, it is the last race of the Xfinity Series regular season, which means that it is all to play for here tonight. Who is going to make the Xfinity Series playoffs? Here's how the playoff grid lines up coming in to this final regular season race. Of course, Connor Zilisch, the hottest driver perhaps in all of NASCAR, coming off his 8th win of the season in Portland, Oregon last weekend at the top of the grid. His playoff spot is secured, along with those of Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez. Those 8 drivers have all clinched their playoff spots based on race wins. Meanwhile, you have Carson Quaffle, 131 points above the cut line. Sheldon Creed is plus 65. Taylor Gray is plus 60. And Harrison Burton is plus 31. Those are the 12 drivers that currently hold playoff positions. Below the cut line is Jeb Burton at minus 31. Ryan Sieg is 14th. He is 68 points below the cut line, which means for Sieg at 14th and everyone below him in the standings, they are in must-win situations tonight. They must win the race tonight, or they will not make the Xfinity Series playoffs. Now, it's a bit more difficult for everyone else above Ryan Sieg at 14th and below Carson Quaffle at 9th. Quaffle at plus 131 is a virtual lock. Sheldon Creed at plus 65 and Taylor Gray at plus 60 are all but in as well, while Harrison Burton at plus 31 and Jeb Burton at minus 31 are basically in a race with each other for that final playoff spot. Harrison starts towards the front. Jeb starts more in the middle of the field. Jeb has to find a way to outscore his cousin by 32 points tonight to get that final playoff spot, or, of course, he could just go ahead and win the race. So, that's the playoff situation coming in. It is, generally speaking, on points, 2 drivers for 1 spot. But as we know, if a guy below the cut line like Ryan Sieg, Christian Eckes, Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye, or William Sawalich, who finished 2nd in Portland last week, if one of those drivers wins, they will get that final spot ahead of Harrison Burton. So we'll keep you up to date with it, of course, all night long as we get ready to go for 200 miles here at Gateway. The Xfinity Series has not been on this track since 2010. It's been a long time for a track that was one of the almost OG standalone races for this series, if you will. Qualifying held earlier today. Here is the starting grid. Connor Zilisch is on the pole in the WeatherTech Chevrolet. What a shock that is to everyone. Nick Sanchez starts from the outside of the front row. Row 2, speaking of William Sawalich, the teenager from Minnesota, 2nd place finish at Portland last week, starts 3rd tonight. Sam Mayer is 4th. Taylor Gray with Harrison Burton, 2 of the Bubble Boys for the playoffs in row 3. Eric Almirola and Carson Quaffle, 7th and 8th. Austin Hill rolls off 9th with rookie from New York, Christian Eckes, in 10th. Daniel Dye is in row 6 with Brandon Jones, while row 7 is made up of Ryan Sieg and Justin Allgaier, who led 88 laps in the last Xfinity Series race here 15 years ago. Sheldon Creed and Corey Day make up row 8, while row 9 behind them features Daniel Hemrick and Jesse Love, Jeb Burton and Kyle Sieg in row 10. 21st is Anthony Alfredo, while Sammy Smith is 22nd. Matt DiBenedetto rolls off 23rd. A second AM Racing entry driven by Cole Raz begins from 24th. Blaine Perkins and Parker Retzlaff is in row 13. The 14th row is Brennan Poole and Jordan Anderson. Thomas Annunziata is with Dean Thompson in row 15. The 31st starter is Jeremy Clements, making yet another start in this series, while Ryan Ellis is 32nd. Garrett Smidley's over-the-wall fire protection Chevrolet rolls off 33rd with Nick Lights along with him. Glenn Reen in a Toyota rolls off in the 18th row along with LeVar Scott. And in the 19th and final row, it's Matt Mills with the Iowa-born driver Joey Gase. 26 Chevrolets, 6 Fords, and 6 Toyotas on the grid for the New Way 200, sauced by Blue Hogs here in Gateway. Now, we talk about the playoff situation, and this is, of course, the last race to make the playoffs. There is also the regular season championship that's up for grabs tonight. Connor Zilisch leads Justin Allgaier by 20 points for that regular season championship. Sam Mayer is 50 points behind Zilisch. The winner of the regular season championship, remember, gets an additional 15 playoff points when the playoffs begin next Friday night in Bristol, Tennessee. 15 playoff points is, of course, the equivalent to 3 race wins. So Zilisch ahead of Allgaier by 20 in that regular season championship battle. We'll keep you up to date with that tonight as well, because with his 8 wins, 7 of which have counted towards playoff criteria, Zilisch has a ton of playoff points, and if he gets 15 more, obviously, that is even better for his chances of getting through the postseason. As I said, Josh T is with us here tonight. JT, your thoughts as we get set for 200 miles in prime time just outside of the St. Louis Arch?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome along to, well, it's late over there in Eastern Time. Don't even mention how late it is over here in Europe and the UK. Because someone has decided that it was going to be a good idea to have yet another night race. But
and another one next week.
Yay. But night races are good. We like night races, so yeah, we like ovals, and well, the number of fans, especially for tonight, have exceeded the expectations, and well, I've heard the 2 words we like to hear for the NASCAR Cup Series. I've heard a possible sellout, Matthew.
Yeah, they normally fill the seats here at Gateway, no doubt about it. Xfinity Series here, as I said, for the first time in 15 years. Of course, they ran here twice in 2010, and that's when the track shut down. And then, of course, we know what has happened in the 15 years since. It's come back on under new ownership. It's gotten a Cup Series date. Tomorrow's Cup race is the 4th race here. But yeah, the Xfinity Series has run here a lot. Their first race here was on a sweltering summer Saturday in 1997 when Elliott Sadler went to victory lane. Drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kevin Harvick, Greg Biffle, Martin Truex Jr., Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski have all won Xfinity Grand National Series races here at this racetrack. The lights are out atop the Toyota Gazoo Racing Pace vehicle. They are on the backstretch on one to go, JT. It is the last race to make the playoffs. On points, we're watching the cousins, Harrison and Jeb Burton. It is a family feud for that final playoff spot, unless, of course, someone new wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, before I mention that, I'm going to press this one button, and we welcome alongside our third stream running alongside us. The behind-the-scenes members has finally started working. But yeah, Battle of the Burtons, one of them is going to be saying, "New way, how did I not make the playoffs?"
Thank you. Very good indeed. All right, ready to go here in Gateway, just outside of St. Louis. We're at the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway in Madison, Illinois. That's a lot of words and a lot of syllables, but we're ready to go as the Toyota Supra Pace car peels off to pit road. Hottest driver in all of NASCAR, Connor Zilisch, coming off his 8th win of the season in dominating fashion last Saturday night in Portland, leads the field to the green flag on a Saturday night in St. Louis. It's time to drop the hammer in Gateway. Connor Zilisch and Nick Sanchez on the front row run side by side to turn 1. It's a good start by Sanchez. He's got a nose in front in turns 1 and 2.
But further back, we are 3 wide already, but it is Zilisch still on the outside, Sanchez still holding that inside line. We're 4 wide nearly, Matthew, going in towards turn 3 further back.
In the middle of 3 and 4, Connor Zilisch around the outside of this very wide and sweeping, mostly flat turns 3 and 4 side of the racetrack, and Zilisch will clear Nick Sanchez to the lead. So Zilisch leads lap 1, and behind him is Sanchez second. William Sawalich is filed in line third, ahead of side-by-side racing at 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. As side-by-side, they still are 3 rows deep, that side-by-side. For a note, now breaking away is the number 19, but the 54 still on the inside line.
Taylor Gray running right next to the red and white candy-striped curbing on the bottom of the racetrack, but getting a good run off the top of turn 4 is Sam Mayer. Mayer, the winner from Iowa in the summer, takes over that 4th position. Now it's a side-by-side fight for 5th. Not side-by-side for long, though, JT. Eric Almirola gets by Taylor Gray.
Just gets in front of that 54 car now. Well, we are looking on board with Harrison Burton at the 21 of Austin Hill going down the inside. And the last thing Harrison Burton or any of the Burtons needs is the 21 to get involved.
Yes, here is Hill shoehorning his way to the inside of Burton, but off of turn 4, Burton uses the top of the banking to clear Hill. Now at the start-finish line, Hill's got company to his right elbow. Carson Quaffle goes by. Justin Allgaier is going to try to do the same.
And he will continue to do that. Meanwhile, the number 2 trying to get up the inside, which he will do down towards turn 3, but he's being pressurised from the car behind him as well. 3 wide with Austin Hill on the inside line. Allgaier on the
Justin
outside.
Allgaier, wow, Allgaier powers around the outside of turn 4 to get alongside Carson Quaffle. Quaffle ahead of Allgaier, ahead of Hill. Then a fast-closing Christian Eckes and Jesse Love join this battle in turn 2.
And they will indeed catch up with those cars. Love just very nearly giving a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel bump with the Eckes car, but now out in front it's Swallows, I believe, to second. Zilisch, well, he's already gone. Deja vu, anyone?
Yeah, right. Zilisch flowing away from this pack, but yeah, we have had a change at second. William Sawalich has gotten around Nick Sanchez, and now JT Sanchez has pressure to his left. That's Sam Mayer off turn 2.
Sam Mayer off turn 2 now, heading down the inside, and, well, he will get that position for now. As well, we have an amazing picture-in-picture replay.
Yes, I know you love that. As World Feed giving us a replay of how Sawalich made the initial pass on Sanchez. Now back to live action where Sanchez might be losing more positions in turn 2.
And, well, he's been dropping like a stone, and now he's got Gray currently behind him. And Sanchez currently in 5th, Gray in 6th.
Meanwhile, Harrison Burton, who has backslid just a bit off the start. Taylor Gray straight in front of him. Harrison running in the 7th position. If he stays there, he'll be in great shape to get that final playoff spot. We'll keep you updated as the night goes on. This is a 35-lap opening stage. We are working lap 8 of this first stage here in St. Louis, and it's Connor Zilich who's out in front of the field. Zilich has been so tremendous this season, as we have documented throughout the Xfinity Series campaign, and he has gotten away quickly from his pole position. He leads second place William Sawalich by 1 second. This is a 160-lap, 200-mile race. We mentioned the first stage is 35 laps. The second stage is also 35 laps. The final stage, however, will go 110 laps to get us to the finish. Justin Allgaier at 8th position, JT, looking at Harrison Burton.
And on that rear bumper cam of Harrison Burton now, Allgaier pushing him through that corner, continuing to bump. Of course, you're not allowed to lock bumpers, but you are allowed to bump the other car around a little bit. But Allgaier up on the inside gets that position. Carson Quaffle will try to get advantage as well, but isn't able to, down the backstretch.
So Allgaier up into the 7th position, passing Harrison Burton. As JT said, Carson Quaffle just in behind this. All of this is happening about 4 seconds and change off the lead. Allgaier does have 3 gateway starts in this series in 2009 and 2010. He finished 3rd in the last race here in the fall of 2010. He runs in the 7th position, with Burton, Quaffle, and Austin Hill just behind as we've completed 10 laps.
And on to lap 11 now. Of course, 35 laps in this stage, as Matthew mentioned a little bit earlier on. Zilich, well, he's out in front, but only around a second. Of course, much harder to pull away on an oval for Zilich than, well, the road courses we saw last week, as we head now to complete another lap.
Yeah, at one point he had a 15-second lead last week in Portland. He was absolutely dominant, although he did have to sweat it out in overtime, that race in Oregon last week. Let's pick up the leaders down the backstretch.
And, well, you can see that gap. It has stayed around 9.5 tenths to 9 tenths the last couple of laps. Now we cut to the battle. First time we are seeing the 00 today. That is, of course, Sheldon Creed, as we are continuing round. Now Carson Quaffle getting involved in that battle we mentioned earlier on.
Yes, many camera cuts, which we absolutely love around here. Quaffle in turn 1 files his way in line ahead of Harrison Burton. Quaffle taking over 8th.
And he will get that done successfully, as the 25 of Harrison Burton slips in behind him to keep in the tow, as he's got Austin Hill trying to get round his outside.
Ooh, Burton very slow in the middle of 3 and 4, and here comes Hill with a powerhouse move around the outside, and Austin Hill's blue and white RCR Chevrolet will take over that 9th position. Meanwhile, in turn 1, Eric Almirola stuffs his car alongside Sam Mayer.
Battle for 3rd, side by side. Mayer just in front, but here comes Almirola down to the inside. He'll cut up very close, very nearly gets spun by the 41. He got loose in the dirty air. He was able to save it. That was maybe a little bit too hard racing for only lap 14.
Meanwhile, Jeb Burton further back in traffic, trying to pick up a position from Kyle Sieg here, as Burton will load it up around the outside of turn 4, and he will move past car 28 Kyle Sieg, but a long, long night ahead of Jeb Burton as he attempts to claim the final playoff spot. That pass that he made on Kyle Sieg puts him behind Ryan Sieg. He's between the Sieg brothers, 19th. Is Jeb Burton after 14 laps. Now, we talked about Eric Almirola taking over the 3rd position. We anticipate Eric being a real contender to win tonight. The reason why, his one Xfinity Series win this season came at Phoenix. Phoenix and Gateway, very similar tracks, not in shape, but definitely in style. Phoenix, of course, is 1 mile. Gateway is 1.25 miles. And both are relatively short and flat. Turns 1 and 2 here banked at 11 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 banked at 9 degrees. If you take an aerial shot of this racetrack overhead, it very much looks like Darlington from a week ago. It is egg-shaped, but much less banking, much wider, and much longer straightaways as well, JT, here, which go into those flat, very slow corners, which means brakes are always a big story around here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not going to get confusing at all, is it? Kyle Sieg, Ryan Sieg, Jeb Burton, Harrison Burton.
3 of those are, of course, going for the final playoff spot, the Burtons and Ryan Sieg, so they're all around each other. Here's Justin Allgaier around Nick Sanchez off of turn 4. Justin gets to his inside. They come across the line side by side, but this 7 car is moving forward off the start, while the 48 is moving the opposite direction. Allgaier takes over the 5th position. What about Harrison Burton, JT? Jesse Love drifts up on him in turn 2.
Yeah, it's on the outside. He's getting squeezed to the outside wall by that number 2 revealing car, as now down in towards turn 3, still side by side. Cars behind trying to look to get involved in the action.
Yep, that's Christian Eckes and Brandon Jones just behind these two. Harrison loads it up around the outside of turn 4. Comes back to the main straightaway just ahead of Jesse Love. So Burton has a good car, especially when he uses the top of both of these sets of corners.
And still side by side, as the number 2 falls behind a little bit. You'll see the 76 dropping down your order. That is because they have come into pit road for the first time today, and now the 2 of Love trying to get up the inside once again.
It's Cole Raz in the 76, second entry from AM Racing. Raz, a very young driver, and I do mean very young, born in March of 2003 from Lake Oswego, Oregon. Running into some early issues. Let's continue covering the battle between Burton and Love on the back straightaway.
And they're still side by side. Jesse Love once again drifting up into the 25. Very nearly contact. Not really contact, but it was very close indeed. Jesse Love now down on the inside. And, well, he keeps that position. Harrison Burton falls back once again behind.
And this is the issue with Cole Raz from a few laps ago. Middle of the corner of turns 1 and 2. It went straight up the track with him. He brushed the turn 2 wall. The way it went up the track, I thought there was a flat tire there, JT, but if there was a flat tire, I wouldn't believe that he would have gotten it slowed down enough to keep from really pounding the wall, so I'm not really sure what happened to the 76 car there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we can find out for you, as here is the number 1 and the number 21, Quaffle and Hill, trying to battle it out. This is Quaffle defending 8th position.
And Austin Hill trying to use the outside to make that pass on Quaffle. Can't do it. What about Harrison Burton? He slipped to 11th. Christian Eckes is all over his bumper cover now as we're down to 14, about to be 13 laps to go in this stage. Here is Eckes, middle of 3 and 4. Cuts his car to the inside of Harrison Burton. Exit of 4. Burton stays ahead. Eckes has a mirror full of Brandon Jones at the back door. These 3 across the line flash back towards turn number 1 at 11th, 12th, and 13th.
The 16 of Eckes will try to go down the inside, but he needs to be careful because he's got Brandon Jones who is trying to get his nose down the inside of Ekes, but still single file. But here comes Brandon Jones down the inside.
Yeah, Brandon Jones, who won at Darlington earlier this year. We talk about how this track, at least by shape, looks a lot like Darlington, doesn't really race a lot like Darlington. These three still nose to tail down the front straightaway, and Daniel Hemrick, who is in that number 11 for colleague racing here this weekend, starting to close in back at the 14th position. As what about Justin Allgaier, JT, in turn 3?
Allgaier currently in 5th. He's looking for 4th. That's currently occupied by the 41 of Sam Mayer. Allgaier gets a better drive in the middle of the turn, and, well, he pulls alongside, side by side across the line. Mayer just keeps the position, but Allgaier will have the inside line down into 1. And Mayer had a little bit of a scrape on the bodywork, hit a bump maybe, and that has pushed him back.
So Allgaier moves up into the 4th position, making the pass on Mayer. Once again, Brandon Jones is attacking Harrison Burton. Burton finally had to give way to Ekes. Now Jones is going to try to get through. Harrison continuing to lose time and positions here in these early laps. Under braking to turn 3, Jones makes the pass, slips up ahead of Harrison Burton into the 12th position. Now as they sweep about a 4, Burton's got more company straight behind him in the form of Daniel Hemrick. Burton can't wait for this caution to come out.
And Timing and Scoring has just confirmed that Justin Allgaier did get that position away from Sam Mayer, as we now look at the 18 and 19 of Swallish and Almirola, 2nd and 3rd already lapping cars. That is the 91 of Matt Mills.
Yeah, these two, Sawalich and Almirola from the Joe Gibbs Racing Stables, running 2nd and 3rd, about 2 seconds off race leader Connor Zilic.
And Almirola will look to go up the inside. He has been gradually picking off places, gradually gaining positions, and, well, he's just got another one because he's much faster than the 18 car down in towards turn 3, and he gets that P2 away from William Swallish.
Yep, no doubt, as we mentioned earlier, a contender tonight is Eric Almirola, as he now moves up into the 2nd position. He started 7th, so he's picked up 5 places in just under 30 laps. We're at 8 laps to go here in stage number 1, here in Gateway, the new Way 200, sauced by Blue Hogs. Or is it Blues Hog? I don't know. It's a very strange name to begin with. But nonetheless, it's Connor Zilic. Yes?
Am I correct in believing that this race has an official source partner?
I think you are. I think that's pretty safe to say, yes. Justin Allgaier making his way around a lapped vehicle, passing Glenn Reen. Allgaier among the biggest movers here of this first stage, JT.
Yes, and he will continue. Plus 10. Thompson is plus 15. So basically we know what sauce the race winner is having with their food after the race. As here is the 25 and the 00 diving down to the inside Sheldon Creed. This is for 14th, Matthew.
Yeah, see, I read that and I say Blue Hogs, but it's not Blue Hog, it's Blues Hog. Plural on the Blues, singular on the Hog. So it's the New Way 200, sauced by Blues Hog. Now that we have that out of the way, let's pick up the action on the racetrack. Sheldon Creed battling for 14th with Harrison Burton,
which we see on the rear bumper cam at the moment. Driving down to the inside is that 00 car trying to get up the inside. He will try to, but right behind the 00, Matthew, it's the 17 of Corey Day.
Yeah, Corey Day making another start in the JBMotorsports Xfinity Series car. Burton stays ahead of Creed. They all have to get around the outside of the lapped car of Joey Gase to continue their battle by the time they get back to turn 2.
Yes, it's not a NASCAR Xfinity race without a random Joey Gase appearance. As down in towards turn 3 we head Creed. Opts to go wide in towards turn 3. Corey Day follows. Harrison Burton stays low.
Yeah, we talk about how this is a relatively flat track, but it is certainly not tabletop flat. 9 degrees of banking in one set of corners, 11 at the other, so there is multiple lanes. And speaking of a higher line, Christian Eckes is using it now in turn 2, JT, to try to get around Carson Quaffle.
And, well, the speed of the 16, it makes it look like Carson Quaffle is an absolute sitting duck and is not moving anywhere. 16 pulls ahead momentarily, but gets the 91 on the high line, which gets in his way, and that has slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of lap traffic for these leaders to go through, but we're only down to 3 to go in stage number 1.
Can the rest of the stages be this quick, please? As down towards the backstretch we go. Corey Day has now caught up to Harrison Burton and is trying to overtake that 25 car. Corey Day getting in front of Creed, now onto Harrison Burton.
2 laps to go in stage number 1 as Connor Zilic leads by just about 1 second. Here is Corey Day underneath the spoiler of Harrison Burton, now moves to his left elbow. They get around that blank white unsponsored Glenn Reen machine as Day goes after Burton again off the bottom of turn 2.
And out of turn 2, down the backstretch we go. It's still Day ahead of Harrison Burton. Just in front is that 91 car. They'll dive to the inside of that 91 car down in towards turn 3, and the caution is out, and that is because of the 32 car, who looks like they've hit the wall heavily. Matthew, there is fire on that Jordan Anderson car.
Yeah, Jordan Anderson driving his own car here this weekend, and he is quickly going to pop out of that car. As JT mentioned, it is on fire from the right front. Have to wonder if this is a brake failure. Anderson, who, of course, a few years ago suffered really bad burns in a Truck Series crash at Talladega, so when it gets on fire and smoky like that, Jordan's not going to wait long to get out of the car. We had just started the last lap of the stage, which will end under caution. Connor Zilic comes to the green and white checkered flag, waving along with the yellow. 9th stage win of the year by Zilic, as he just continues to add to his impressive banking of playoff points. That's his 44th playoff point of the season. And let's see if we can diagnose what happened to Jordan Anderson. Well, he went down into turn 1, JT, and the car went up in smoke from the right front, did not turn, took a heavy hit into the outside wall, and that would lead you to believe that one of 2 things, more than likely, is the cause of this. Either there was a brake failure, as I hypothesized, or the tire just went down on its own.
That was a very high-speed hit, and, well, luckily Jordan Anderson was able to get out of the car quickly with it on fire, but as you said, there's only one of 2 options, and well, there was no slowing down at all from that 32 car.
Yeah, this racetrack, it doesn't set, mind-numbingly speeds like we see at, a Daytona, Talladega, Michigan, some of these tracks where we get to just incredible high speeds average.
But it does bite.
Yes, it does, because like I said, the straightaways are long. You do reach high speeds on the straightaways, and because you reach those high speeds on the straights, and then the 2 sets of corners are high braking and tight because of not a lot of banking, we do get a lot of brake failures here, and we do get a lot of flat right front tires here, and when that happens and the car won't turn, it's a long, long ramp up to the wall at those high speeds. And, we see a lot of really bone-cracking hits here at Gateway. And just for sure saw one there with Jordan Anderson. Hate that for him. So stage 1 gets completed under the yellow. Connor Zilic wins the stage. As, again, we're on USRN2 along with JBM, and of course we're behind the scenes on JBM as well. I know, what is this, the second week that you guys have had the BTS?
Yes, it got trialed a lot last week. It was successful. There wasn't meant to be a BTS for this stream until 20 minutes before scheduled on airtime. Then it broke, so I had to abandon it until we were on air on the main stream before I got to fix the behind the scenes stream. Basically, controlling multiple streams, Matthew, believe it or not, is hard when stuff goes wrong.
No, surely not. You don't say.
I mean,
Well,
you missed an opportunity there.
did I?
Yes.
Ah,
New way.
That-
Surely
no,
not.
yes, new way. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you very much. Goodness gracious. Well, while
Please bear
we're
in
under
mind
this
it is
caution,
1:10 in the morning.
it is, yes. While we're under this caution, should we go ahead and do birthdays and on this day as we do at Stage 1 breaks?
I can tell you one thing.
Hmm.
It isn't my birthday.
Well, I'm glad you can confirm that because I didn't get a gift. So, it's a good thing that it's not.
Didn't get the balloons.
No, I didn't know.
Ah.
Did not bring the plastic wrapped around helium. No. All right, so it is September the 6th. I very rarely do this part. This is either Matt or Seth that normally does this part, so bear with me. But we start with birthdays. We do have an ARCA driver that has a birthday today that is turning 22 years old. That is LeVar Scott, who is doing really good things on the ARCA level, so happy 22nd birthday to him. Also celebrating a birthday today as I go up the list. And as Seth always mentions, there's a lot of these names I do not recognize, but I'm sure our guy Matt White would know them all because he watches every racing series known to man. Even though I don't know these people, happy birthday to Marco Sorensen, Chris Moore, Steven Johnson, Mike Rittenhouse, Morty Buckles, Angie Everhart, Ted Mickelson, John Todd, Rick Lambert, Charlie Neerberg, Smokey Boutwell, Wimpy Sipple, that's a name, along with Frank Elliott, and one person that I do know. Happy birthday to the 2000 champion of the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Jeff Green, who I actually tweeted about yesterday about his 2000 championship in this series that he just absolutely dominated to no end. He ended up winning the championship by over 600 points, for heaven's sakes. So happy birthday to Jeff Green, born on this day in 1962. We will pause, and then I will give you the list of races on this day. But first, JT, Pit Road is open, and at the end of the 35-lap first stage, all the lead lap cars are going to come to Pit Road.
Pit Road this year, it's a little bit better than Connor Zilich's. Zilich has the #1 stall. You enter Pit Road here in turn 3. Progressive Pit Road is open. Everybody coming down at the end of stage 1. Kim.
Yeah, and for William Sawalich, finished third in that first stage, had the pace, but he said he's driving the right front off, needs right side grip, just sliding around. You see him at the top of your screen. So Jeff Mender in the crew chief told him we'll undo an adjustment they made before the race to try and fire off better. The crew will also remove a little debris on the left front brake opening as they take 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Dylan.
A couple big movers near the front of the field. Eric Almirola from 7th to 2nd said that he was a little bit too tight. Center turn was his biggest hindrance. 4 tires and fuel for him. Justin Allgaier 14th to 4th said good security, entry and exit, just a little tight in the center. They'll make an air pressure adjustment. And Connor Zilich at the bottom said he was a little tight in the center and free off the corner. There's the race off pit road.
Yeah, the Progressive race off pit road.
Well, Connor Zilich's team didn't get him out first. William Sawalich wins the race off of Pit Road. Would be the worst nightmare of the Burton brothers if Sawalich found a way to win this race. He wins the race off of Pit Road here from Hill, Zilich, and Ryan Sieg, picking up plenty of spots on Pit Road, surely by just taking 2 tires. Did I miss someone in birthdays, by the way? JT?
Sid Watkins. It
Okay.
would have been his birthday today, of course.
Wow.
F1 medical neurosurgeon.
Yes.
Did a lot for the F1 medical advancement, saved a couple of drivers as well. But races on this day, well, yes, technically on this day, because it is Sunday now, but it happened yesterday. It happened on the 6th of September, just different time zones. On this day, today, 6th of September 2025, if you are before midnight, if not, then just pretend you're before midnight and it's still Saturday. Ringwood Raceway hosted a record event of most caravans in a race at one time, racing together. Last caravan standing wins. Spoiler alert, there were no caravans standing at the end of it.
Oh, dear.
The old record was set by Ringwood Raceway at 17. The new record was 19. And, well, in true Ringwood Raceway fashion, they advertised 30. 30 had booked in, and a third of them did not turn up. But that did not come from me. Anyway,
Well.
time for the decent stuff. Gordon, on this day today, Gordon Moody became a 5-time Brisker Formula 2 stock car world champion, and for the first time did it at his home circuit of Cowdenbeath in Scotland. Now for the actual real one, and I'll stop waffling.
Let's see, on this day in 2020, Kevin Harvick won the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington. Also on that day, they ran the truck race at Darlington, the South Carolina Education Lottery 200, Ben Rhodes. Also on that very same day in 2020, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza was won by Pierre Gasly. On this day, also in 2020, there were 2 Robson Civil Project Super Sprint races in the Australian Supercars at Townsville. You'll never believe that Shane Van Gisbergen won both of them. On this day in 2015, the Bojangles Southern 500 at Darlington, was won by Carl Edwards. That was the first throwback weekend Southern 500 that Carl Edwards won that day in 2015. And also on that same day, the Italian Grand Prix was won by Lewis Hamilton. On this day in 2014, Brad Keselowski dominated the NASCAR Cup Series Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond. A race where a fan climbed up on the catch fence and brought out a caution. That did happen, yes it did. Here's a name from someone that's in this field tonight on this day in 2014. The Kevin Whitaker Chevrolet 140 at Greenville Pickens Speedway for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East was won by Austin Hill. Speaking of Brad Keselowski winning at Richmond on this day, it was a Cup race in 2014. It was an Xfinity race in 2013, the Virginia 529 at College Savings 250. On this day in 2011, a great battle in the final laps at Atlanta led to Jeff Gordon beating Jimmy Johnson in the Advocare 500. On this day in 2009, that same race, called the Pep Boys Auto 500 at Atlanta, was won by Casey Kane. On this day in 2008, NASCAR Truck Series race here at Gateway, the Camping World 200 presented by Honda Power Equipment, was won by Ron Hornaday Jr. You remember the old Prelude to the Dream that they ran at Eldora? That was run on this day in 2006, won by Tony Stewart. On this day in 2003, the NASCAR Cup Series Chevy Rock and Roll 400 at Richmond was won by Ryan Newman. Kevin Harvick and Ricky Rudd got into a spat afterwards. On this day in 2002, the Busch Series Funai 250 at Richmond was won by Dale Earnhardt Jr. On this day in 2001, the Kroger 200 at Richmond for the Truck Series, won by Jack Sprague. On this day in 1998, the CART Molson Indy Vancouver was won by Dario Franchitti. On that same day, Jeff Gordon won the Pepsi Southern 500 at Darlington for his 4th straight Southern 500 win. I am quickly hurrying as we're coming to the green. On this day in 1997, Dale Jarrett won the Cup Series Exide Select Batteries 400 at Richmond. 1992, Darrell Waltrip won the Southern 500 at Darlington. 82, Cale Yarborough won the Southern 500 at Darlington. 71, Bobby Allison won the Southern 500 at Darlington. 76, David Pearson won that same race. 1969, A.J. Foyt won the Hoosier 100 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. That's all we have time for today. Green flag up in the air. Stage 2 gets underway here at Gateway. William Sawalich won the race off of pit road, and from the outside of row 1, he takes off. They're 3 wide behind.
They are 3 wide. One person who did not take this restart, Carson Quaffle, he had an engine failure at the end of stage 1. Believe it or not, he was strong in stage 1. And his engine let go, so he is out, that number 1 car. Single file for the top 2, still side by side with, I believe that's Zilish on the outside. Yes, it is.
That's a shame for Carson, who has his playoff spot wrapped up. Sawalich leads the first lap from the restart. Side by side further back, Ryan Sieg with Sam Mayer. This is for 7th.
And still, side by side, Mayer is on the inside. The 39 is on the outside, and Mayer will try to get the position, and he will continue to do that. But we look further back, that is 3 wide. I believe that included Harrison Burton.
It all gets sorted out, at least down to 2 wide. Burton is door-to-door at the start-finish line with Christian Eckes. Burton slid back quite a bit on the initial start. On this restart, JT, Ryan Sieg was the stopper in the bottle. He picked up a lot of places on pit road because they took just 2 tires, but boy, was he struggling on the restart.
Yeah, look at Allgaier round the outside in all of that. What a move there. And now we return back to live, and this is with the 20 of Brandon Jones, who's currently in 9th. Back with the leaders, Allgaier. After that amazing move, he's up the inside for the lead, Matthew.
Yep, trying to squeeze to the inside of William Sawalich, racing off turn number 2. Allgaier gets alongside of him. Elbow to elbow goes Toyota and Chevrolet. Allgaier diving down into turn 3, puts a nose in front of Sawalich, puts a wheel in front of Sawalich. They're still door-to-door. Meanwhile, behind those 2, Connor Zilich and Eric Almirola are going to duel 3rd, up out of turn 4 and across the line. Allgaier goes clear to the lead ahead of Sawalich. Now the fight is on for 3rd under braking to turn 1. Almirola goes for Zilich.
Zilich tried to take advantage of Allgaier going up the inside of Sawalich, wasn't able to follow the 7 through, and well, now drops down to 4th. Almirola has gotten through, and now he is chasing the 18 car for 2nd.
Up out of turn number 4, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all nose to tail. 2 Gibbs Toyotas and Sawalich and Almirola. Sawalich and Almirola. Then Zilich trying to combine 2 drivers' names here that run 2nd and 4th on the racetrack.
Yes, here we have William Zilich, who is looking at William Almirola as well, but single file, nose to tail as they exit turn 4. It is still Sawalich, Almirola, Zilich, no change.
And the 5th place car of Jesse Love started to close in on these 3. They're back in turn 1.
And that 41 will look up the inside, but let's quickly go down to Carson Quaffle.
Things first, these guys brought me a pretty good Johnny Morse Bass Pro Shops Clearance Technology Chevrolet today. I felt like we had a good run going, and we were falling back a little in the beginning, but I think we're going to make some really good changes to make it better. And on that pit stop there, we kind of had a delay up front, and we kind of had it revved up, getting ready to go, and kind of had to wait on the front, pull some tape or something, drop the jack. I kind of stumbled off the pit stop. Didn't really get going at first, so I didn't really know what was going on. And once I started rolling, I could tell that it wasn't too happy. He was making some noises, so just hate it for this whole number 1 group. I feel like we were going to have a pretty good run today. I felt like our practice and qualifying was really good for what happened, and I guess just move on to the next one and keep working at it.
Battle for 3rd, Matthew.
Yeah, while we were hearing from Carson, Eric Almirola got around William Sawalich. Zilich has now done the same. Meanwhile, they're 3 wide here on the front straightaway. This includes Jeb Burton. He's alongside Matt DiBenedetto. They both get around Anthony Alfredo. Jeb's got to get going.
Yes, he does. The 27, the 99, and then followed by the 42. Oh, hello, CW Graphics. Nice to see you. Why have one timing monitor when you can have two? One on the vertical, one on the horizontal. The 4 up the inside of the 42. And, well, it's getting a little bit chaotic here. Exit turn 4. Oh, goodbye, CW screen. It was nice while you were here.
Jeb Burton up in the 21st position. His cousin Harrison has backslid to 18th as Jeb tries to find that final playoff spot. He's cleared both Alfredo and DiBenedetto,
which will be good for him. Now we look from above, and that is the 18, the 2, and the 41. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we teleport to Justin Allgaier and the front stretch.
Yeah, Allgaier by 1 second ahead of Eric Almirola. Connor Zilich is third, a second and a half back. Then William Sawalich fourth, Jesse Love running in fifth. Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, Nick Sanchez, and Taylor Gray round out the top 10. Ryan Sieg and that team's gamble to try to take 2 tires and get track position has not paid off. He has backslid all the way outside the top 10 already. Just got passed by the 11 car of Daniel Hemrick. Trying to find him on timing, Ryan Sieg. Where has he gone back to? 15th now for Ryan. Fight for 5th in turn 1. Jesse Love under pressure from Sam Mayer.
And Sam Mayer, he will struggle to get his car up the inside there, but he's going to give it a go. And that now, because he gave it a go, he's side by side down the backstretch. He's got a lot more speed than the 2, and he's got the inside line down in towards turn 3. That 41 gets its bumper ahead, and the full car ahead now, and is able to block that number 2 from trying to fight back.
Leaders come up out of turn number 4. Mayer up into the 5th position with that pass on the Daytona winner from earlier this season, Jesse Love. They go back into turn 1.
And that gap now increased around a car length now. You can see as side by side a little bit further back. Can't tell who it is. It's the number 39 and the number 8 side by side. That, of course, being Sammy Smith. And Ryan Sieg, the 8 on the inside, 39 on the outside, turns 3.
Yeah, Sieg continuing to backslide. Sammy Smith trying to take over that 16th position, but he can't do it off of turn 4 this time. Sieg powers around the outside to hold on to the spot. Sieg, last chance to make the playoffs. He's been up there in points all year, JT, but it has not been a good last month or so for the 39 team.
Yeah, you have to be consistent, as the 8 of Sammy Smith got into the back of Ryan Sieg. That got the 8 a little loose. Didn't interrupt the 39, but it definitely unsettled the 8 car as it goes up the inside now in towards turn 3.
That was a big dive into 3 by Smith to get around Sieg. Now Sieg comes down on the exit of turn 4 to cut off Harrison Burton. Burton has to back away. Dean Thompson is right on the back of this. Further up, Allgaier being run down, JT, for the lead.
By the number 19 of Eric Almirola. He has been there this whole race. We are lap 23 of 35 in stage 2. Of course, we have that very long third stage you mentioned earlier on. Now the 26 up on the inside of the 25. That's Dean Thompson. But Ryan Sieg is on the outside. They are about to make it 3 wide, possibly Matthew across the line. They think against it.
They came very close together, all 3 of them did, coming out of the corner, as they both, Burton and Thompson, closed right up on Sieg, who is really struggling here.
And Thompson falls back, but Ryan Sieg still in front of this mini train form, and now back with the lead. As you can see, that gap has, well, it stayed around the same. It's gone back down to what it was a couple of laps ago. Just under half a second, but he is closing more than he was the last couple of laps.
Yeah, Almirola is going to be a real tough one here tonight, as we are working lap 60 of 160, and Dean Thompson again trying to get around Harrison Burton.
And around the outside. Harrison Burton is trying to defend his position. He's got Brennan Poole behind him in the 44 car. Also for position, not a lapped car. No lapped cars involved in this, and well,
Ooh.
that was very close.
Yeah, Dean sliding his way up out of turn 4 and across the nose of Harrison Burton. No doubt about it, JT. Harrison really struggling tonight. Started in row 3. He's now back to 19th.
And that's not what you want. You've got a long stage 3, got a little bit of strategy to play with if it stays green. We've not had... well, we have had a caution for cause, but it was kind of mixed in with a stage break as well. Round the outside, Ryan Sieg still got Dean Thompson on his inside. Currently 18th. He started 38th, Matthew.
Yeah, Dean has really been moving up in that Toyota Genuine Parts Supra. He's going to take over this 17th spot from Ryan Sieg. I talked about how it's been a very rough last month or so for the 39 team. Their last 3 finishes at Watkins Glen, Daytona, and Portland, 28th, 31st, and 24th for Ryan Sieg, and it's been those finishes all outside the top 20 that have really taken them out of playoff contention. Harrison Burton has his hands full. He has defended Brennan Poole for a long time here. Now Brennan has backed up to 2 cars coming quickly from behind, Anthony Alfredo and Jeb Burton.
And looking in the top left box, if you are watching alongside, that's the 21, the 20, and the 41. As Brandon Jones tries to slide up the inside of the 21 of Austin Hill, thinks against it.
This is 6th, 7th, and 8th. The battling between Hill, Jones, and Mayer. They're just in behind. 5th place running Jesse Love. They're all going to test the high side of the banking in turn 2.
Out onto the backstretch they go. It's Love, Hill, Jones, Mayer. Then it's side by side with Sanchez and Eckers, which got a little bit contacty and a little wiggle from the Sanchez car.
Back with the leaders across the line. Justin Allgaier's lead on Eric Almirola has shrunk down to just 2 car lengths, maybe not even that. These two had a spirited battle in the late laps at Las Vegas earlier in the season, which Allgaier won. Then they met up at Phoenix in a late race battle that also included Alex Bowman. Almirola won that race. It's Allgaier and Almirola into turn 3. A car length separates the 2 leaders. Almirola takes it to the middle of the racetrack. He's going to try to load up a run around the top as they come up out of turn 4. Meanwhile, Jeb Burton trying to get around Harrison. Anthony Alfredo is in the middle of this. The problem, JT, is it's not good enough for Jeb to finish ahead of Harrison tonight. He's got to outscore him by some 31 points as Jeb gets very loose on the exit of turn 4. He holds on to it. Let's pick up the battle for the lead going to 3.
Down the inside, he has a little look now. He will go around the outside. The number 19 car of Alec Almirola. Allgaier held the inside line, but he came up to block him. They are still bumper to bumper as they head down towards turn 1. 4 to go.
And Eric Almirola just reset the Xfinity fastest lap. This 19 car is clicking, and here he comes, JT, off turn 2, looking for the lead.
Side by side, down the backstretch we go, down towards turn 3. Almirola on the inside, Allgaier on the outside. He gets his nose in front. They are side by side. They are banging doors. Continuous contact through 3.
Almirola's car drifted up. He leaned over on Allgaier. They rubbed elbows. They keep going. Allgaier has the lead. Back to turn 1 with 3 laps to go in the second stage.
Almirola will once again try to go around the outside, but they've now got lapped cars coming into play. Garrett Smithley, first time we've mentioned him today, he is on the outside. They both go down the inside. That's an easy move for the first of the lapped cars. Here's a replay, Matthew. Talk us through it with the CW graphics.
Yeah, Almirola just dove it so hard into 3. His car washed up the banking, and Allgaier was the one just above him to take the contact. They cross the line. 2 laps to go in this stage. Connor Zilich is closed in on both of them, and there's all kinds of traffic in front of these leaders, starting with Joey Gase.
they've still got 1.5 laps to go. The lapped cars are staying on the inside. Never mind, Joey Gase is going on to the outside and squeezes Havoc Almirola to the wall. I don't think he realised that number 19 car was there. But Havoc Almirola is going to have to do something special if he wants to catch up. 1 to go.
Yep. Allgaier has gapped him by a couple of car lengths with 1 lap to go now. Here in stage number 2, Allgaier has to go to the inside of the Glenn Reen machine in turn 1. He'll get past him without any issue.
Havoc Almirola trying to get past him now, but I think Allgaier, if he keeps it on the roads, he will have this in the bag. We are coming to the end of stage 2, Matthew, in towards turn 3.
Justin Allgaier looking for his 10th stage win of the season, right around the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Almirola drifts up the banking, won't have enough time to catch him. Green and white checkered flag is waving. Justin Allgaier's pursuit of the regular season championship gets 10 extra points as he wins stage 2 here in Gateway. From Eric Almirola, 2nd. 3rd is Connor Zilic. William Sawalich is 4th. 5th is Jesse Love. Rest of the points-paying positions go to Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, and Sam Mayer. Stage 2 complete here in St. Louis, and it's Justin Allgaier matching the stage win that his teammate but regular season championship rival Connor Zilic got in stage 1. So those two have basically played to a draw through the first 2 stages in the regular season championship fight. We're back under caution as we're 70 laps into the New Way 200, sauce by Blues Hog, and that means that we have 90 laps to go in the race. Is that right? Did I do the math right? Yes.
Now,
I just wanted to make sure I did the math right.
now 89 to go as they cross the line, and well, something you wouldn't see on CW, and you would only see on the international feed, a beautiful zoom into a random roof in the infield, but it is the end of stage 2, which means we are under caution, and well, what you sometimes do, well, not you, but the USON group do, is go through race winners. There was one that I didn't have time to mention. So,
okay,
why not mention it? There is the moon.
Why not?
By the way, because and well, today, not only does every single phone go absolutely crazy in the UK if you haven't turned it off because the government want to jump scare us all with the government phone tests. Yes, that is a thing, Matthew. With all of the emergency alert systems, you've had it for years, and we are only just catching up. But we also have the blood moon total eclipse, which you can't really see in America. So sorry, guys.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. But anyway, the main reason why I started talking was because today it was the 2025 Unlimited Banger World of Shale Championship.
Oh, okay.
And familiar name in the southwest, Mendip's Raceway regular if you're into your short oval, 262 Rob Boogler, also known as Runa, won it there. 570 in second for Jordan Cumming, and 440 Macaulay Mills in third. Your defending champion 639 Ty Williams, unfortunately nowhere near the top 3. But next week it is the big one. It is the Briscoe Formula 1 Stock Car 2025 Championship of the World, followed by the weekend after the Briscoe V8 Hot Stocks Championship of the World at a rugby stadium in Bradford.
Oh, of course.
Because just like you, voice crack, my God, at 1:36 in the morning,
oh dear.
Just like you can put baseball fields in the middle of short ovals, we can put soccer fields and rugby fields in the middle of racetracks. Yes. An interesting fixture, by the way, next year. Running on next weekend, but next year, I believe it's 12th, 13th, 14th of September. The 2026 Brisker Formula 2 Stock Car Championship of the World and the 2026 National Saloon Stock Car Championship of the World being run as a double-header weekend, which is very rare because it is two world championships on the same weekend, which they normally split up. So that will be very interesting in me indeed, and myself, like many other people, even though tickets won't be released for many times because they're still a year, have basically just turned around to the organisers and said, shut up and take my money. 87 to go. I have successfully wasted 3 laps for you, Matthew. You are very welcome.
Well, let's listen into Carla Metz and what she has to say.
Has been on lately. So what does he have to do to lock up the regular season championship? He said, I've just got to have another strong run tonight. Of course, he said the last few months have been a surreal, but that would be amplified tonight if he gets that regular season championship. Dylan?
And Carla, as we get ready to make pit stops here, this was the radio traffic on the 88 of what changes to make track position on the forefront of the driver's mind. Take a listen.
I don't know. I'd rather have a faster pit stop and try and get the lead and hold on to the lead. It's really hard to pass.
I like that they're being put in this position, because if you go out and you lead every lap, you maybe don't gain the knowledge or the experience for the playoff run when you could face some of these challenges when you lose a little track position. So this is probably good for them in the long run.
It is, and if you think back, the one weakness we've seen out of Connor Zilic in that 88 this year is at times he's been put back in the pack, damaging that race car, not being able to drive through the pack. So it's good for him to have these experiences of not just being the most dominant car, as you mentioned.
Pit road huge in the first cycle at the end of stage 1. I'm sure it'll pay dividends for someone here as well. Progressive pit road is open, and it's about to get really busy. Here's Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, William Sawalich coming off that runner-up finish last weekend, hoping to back it up with another top 5, maybe a top 10. Great summer for this team, though. This run, he said, really tight to start the run. Then it came to him. 1 and 2, though, the fronts were still chattering at the end of the run and killing his drive. 3 and 4 were a little better. You see that chassis adjustment to free him up. Little free off, though. 3 and 4 overall, though, that adjustment to loosen him up, Dylan.
Eric Almirola, the 19, said he was still tightened a little bit on the splitter. He'll change 4 tires and fuel. Justin Allgaier said he was really good, but just loses center cut on the long run. They'll make another air pressure adjustment. And we heard the radio from Zilic. They couldn't decide whether they wanted to loosen him up or tighten him up based on Connor's feedback. Not sure what they ended up doing, but they got the pit stop they needed and the track position at the end of stage 2.
+2 for Zilic. He gets the lead back in the race off Progressive.
Zilic does win the race off of pit road from Sawalich, Allgaier, Hill, and Love. Really bad stop for the 19 group. Eric Almirola lost 4 positions, while Allgaier lost 2. So the drivers that came in first and second come out 3rd and 6th off of pit road. Something else that we at times do during stage 2 breaks, especially on the Xfinity races when we're not on Saturdays to do a full hot lap, we do take a sprint through the wide world of sports. Of course, another big college football Saturday here today where a bunch of teams won by a bunch of points. JT, you want to hear these blowout scores. Not the most enthralling action, we'll say. Number 2, Penn State defeated Florida International 34-0. Number 6, Oregon. Get ready for this one, JT. Number 6, Oregon, the Ducks, defeated Oklahoma State 69-3. Not good. Number 7, Texas, defeated San Jose State 38-7. Clemson struggled a bit before beating Troy 27-16. Sure.
News.
Okay.
Someone has been speeding.
Uh-oh.
And has been sent to the rear.
Uh-oh.
That person, Justin Allgaier.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, Justin. Well, that'll be a real killer.
Championship.
Yeah, real killer for his chances to win this race and to, of course, win that all-important regular season championship. My goodness. Let's see some other terrible scores for you today, JT. Illinois beat Duke 45-19. Now here's one. Good gracious. Florida State defeated East Texas A&M 77-3. JT, I don't know how big of an American football fan you are, but 77-3 is... Wow, that's a lot.
I'm probably, just like many other people in the UK, you watch NFL for the Super Bowl and American football for the Super Bowl. Not much else. The only other one I think I watched last year was all of the ones they did on Netflix at Christmas. I watched all of them.
Yes.
I did watch all of them.
That would have been Steelers, Chiefs, and Texans, Ravens.
Yes, very well done. It was very well done. I was very surprised for NFL the lack of adverts.
Yeah. Of course, last night's game between the Chiefs and Chargers was available worldwide on YouTube. But obviously it was extremely late for you guys. It was in Sao Paulo, and kickoff was at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
let's see.
Of course, because someone, which I shall not name because everyone knows him, decided to do something with his money once more.
Other scores from college football today as we motor on. Crazy game between Baylor and SMU. It went into double overtime. Baylor won 48-45. Do you know that game was on the C?
The word.
That game. That game was on the CW, and it was called by Rick Allen.
That's even worse because double
Yes,
overtime on CW. Where were we here? CW.
Yeah, indeed. Texas A&M beat Utah State 44-22. Kentucky beat Ole Miss beat Kentucky 30-23. Indiana, the 23rd ranked Hoosiers, beat Kennesaw State 56-9. Really, the only competitive scores among the top teams. Iowa State beat Iowa 16-13. That's for a trophy, by the way. I know our guy Seth likes to send you college football trophies. That's for the Cy Hawk Trophy that Iowa State beat Iowa in. And a big upset in the Swamp in Gainesville. 13th ranked Florida lost to South Florida 18-16. That's a big upset. And I failed to mention number 1 Ohio State beat Grambling 70-0. Games going on as we speak include Miami leading Bethune-Cookman 28-3. LSU leads Louisiana Tech 10-0. Mississippi State's out 17-0 on Arizona State. That would be an upset. And Oklahoma leads Michigan in the second quarter 7-0.
I was about to ramble on, but we are about to go green. But Portugal won against Armenia 5-0 in the World Cup qualifiers. Bosnia versus San Marino 6-0 to Bosnia.
Oh, heavens. Connor Zilic won the race off pit road. He's the control car on the outside of row 1. Green flag goes up in the air. Night has fallen over St. Louis, and we're ready to go for the second half of the New Way 200. Zilic takes off. He gets ahead of William Sawalich in turn 1. Jesse Love looks to the inside of Sawalich for second.
And we'll go 3 wide, maybe looking 4 wide, a little bit loose in the back of the pack, and it's the number 2 still on the inside. Sorry, I should have mentioned that we transitioned from American football to soccer.
Well, I think we all knew what you were talking about. Here come the leaders off of 4. Zilic away with the lead. Love is through to second. Sawalich backslides into third. No, I beg your pardon. Yeah, he does. Sawalich third, then Eric Almirola. Brandon Jones and Austin Hill side by side in the middle of the pack.
And still side by side, little bit of 3 wide moment. Oh, big twitch there. That was in reaction there from the car on the outside, giving a little bit of a move. I believe that was the number 41 of Mayer. Yes, it was. And it was the 44 of Paul reacting.
Yeah, Mayer fell back in the pit stop cycle under caution. He gets around Brennan Poole. Harrison Burton is stuck in that pack. Here comes Jeb Burton, in fact, rumbling out of the pack, gets to the inside of his cousin Harrison.
And he has a inside line now on the 44th pool because, well, the 25 is blocked in by that 44 car. And, well, update on the fastest lap on the Xfinity fastest lap. Connor Zillage in the lead. 33.570 best speed, 134.048 miles per hour.
So Zillage resets fastest lap, middle of the pack. Meanwhile, Sheldon Creed to the inside of Nick Sanchez. Behind them, Sammy Smith is dueling wheel-to-wheel with Taylor Gray. All of this at the tail end of the top 10.
As we are still side by side with Creed and Sanchez. And that was a big move there down the inside for turn 3.
That was Daniel Hemrick popping out and going, changing lanes aggressively, trying to make passes. He's to the inside of the number 8 of Sammy Smith. Here come the leaders up out of turn 4 onto this long front straightaway and across the line. Middle of the pack is where all the action is here off this restart. Hemrick has fallen in line behind Smith and in front of Dean Thompson.
Yeah, Dean Thompson getting involved in this as we are on board with the 45 of Lava Scott as well. It's the first time we've used this onboard camera, I think, today. But he has gotten up into the battle. Well, gotten up into the battle. This is 28th and 29th. He's just got Ryan Sieg in front of him, which is probably why they're using his camera.
Yeah, Sieg, who of course lost so many places in Stage 2 when he was just on 2 tires and has really lost a ton of track position, trying to get some back here, trying to pass Ryan Ellis on the bottom of Turn 1.
And still on board with the 45 car, Ryan Sieg getting a little loose, drifting up to that 71 car of Ellis, now back in front. It's the number 2 of Jesse Love who has started to catch up to Connor Zillage this time.
Yeah, Love trying to roll in on Zillage for the lead. They cross the line to complete lap 85 of 160. First 2 stages have been short at 35 laps. You hadn't had to pit for tires or fuel in those stages. You will have to in this stage, however. By the way, catch up in the chat section on YouTube. Bob says howdy. I was talking earlier about Connor Zillage being the hottest driver in NASCAR. Still Joe responded, hottest driver or hottest driver? Context is key. Yes. And Michael commented about Cole Raz in the wall. I usually have those up. I did not get the chat up. We were a bit rushed getting on the air, so I apologize for not getting the comments up sooner. As we have a battle going into Turn 1, JT, Corey Day, and Christian Eckes. This is all the way up at 7th.
Yeah, Day has been able to keep his position in the pit stop cycle now with Sanchez up the inside of the 00 of Creed down in towards turn 1 and turn 2 we go. Now we teleport to turn 4 because, well, it was turn 4.
Yeah, yes it was. Anyway, Nick Sanchez and Sheldon Creed very nearly banging quarter panels. We all make that mistake. It's all well and good.
I looked at it once. It screamed turn 1 to me. I looked at it. I looked at it again, and it screamed turn 3 at me because, well, it was turn 3. Now we are in turn 3, and Sanchez up on the inside line comes up to block the 00 of Creed.
Yeah, Creed still just cannot get around Nick Sanchez. Sanchez running 9th, Creed 10th. Behind them, Daniel Hemrick and Taylor Gray. 4 cars under a blanket here in Turn 1.
As we head down the flyby cam. And, well, now we're 3 wide with the 2 Burtons and 7 of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, Allgaier trying to make up lost ground after the speeding penalty. He is in the Burton cousins here. Allgaier getting around Harrison on the approach to Turn 3. Now here he goes. He wants to swoop from bottom to top and make a run around the outside of Jeb, and he's going to do it. Off Turn 4, Allgaier peels away to the outside of Jeb Burton. He'll have that blue and white number 27 clear. Meanwhile, on the back straightaway, JT, a fight for 3rd.
Yes, battle for 3rd. It's Almirola up on the inside of Swallowed, the 19 and the 18. Almirola gets in front for now and takes that position away. He's been faster than the 18 car for now today.
Yeah, he sure has. Almirola looking good here in Stage 2. Did lose a few spots on pit road. He's quickly making that ground up.
Yeah, which is what he needs to do. Bob mentioning, of course, Creed and Mayer will be in Chevys next year. That was, of course, announced a couple of days ago, if not yesterday. That switch.
Yeah, that'll be... It was interesting to hear that the Haas factory team going to Chevrolet like they were many years ago when they were known as Stuart Haas before they made the switch to Ford. The thing that struck me in that announcement, though, is there are hardly any Fords in the Xfinity series these days. There were 6 Fords in this field today, and one of those was the extra AM Racing entry with Cole Raz. So normally there's not even that many, and they're losing 2 with that team going to Chevrolet next year. So we're not going to see many blue ovals, it would seem, in this series next year. As CW showing us a replay. Wow, speaking of Fords, Ryan Sieg hard on the brakes getting into turn 1, and that car went way up the track. He nearly ran straight into the back of Matt DiBenedetto. It has been a tough night, JT, for one Ryan Sieg.
Yeah, absolutely, and not a night that he wanted to be tough, and, well, that is what the teams look at and go, okay, that's why we are not having the blue ovals on our cars for next year. But it is the circuit, it is the brakes, it is the long straights you mentioned earlier on. Out front now, Love did catch up to the 88 of Zillage, but Zillage has pulled a second away.
Ooh, little debris on the grill of Jesse Love's car. Not sure if that is covering up a grill opening. If it is, that car will start running pretty hot here soon. And Jesse Love, they'll be keeping an eye on that, of course, in the RCR pit. Bob making mention in the comments about Creed and Mayer going to Chevrolets next year. John Bender with us in the comments says, feel bad for Jordan Anderson in the 32 car. Yeah, we don't get to see Jordan very often these days, actually in a car or a truck. And he was the first one out of the race, so the hard hit into the turn 2 wall. Lap 95 of 160 ongoing, 65 laps to go when we come back to the line. Connor Zilic leads. For those of you listening on radio on JBM, I'll give you a top 10 here. See, I still have to do that, even though we're not on radio on JBM, and everybody watching on JBM can just look at the top 10. Connor Zilic leads Jesse Love by a little bit more than 1 second. A closing Eric Almirola is third, while William Sawalich runs fourth, and Brandon Jones is fifth. So that's 3 Gibbs Toyotas running right together, third, fourth, and fifth. Sixth is Austin Hill. Christian Eckes is seventh. Corey Day is eighth. Nick Sanchez is ninth. Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. Those top 10 drivers are separated on the track by 6 seconds. 31 cars on the lead lap. 36 of the 38 starters still on the track. Out of the race, Carson Quaffle and the aforementioned 32 car of Jordan Anderson. We mentioned that Corey Day and Christian Eckes on the track 7th and 8th. Day took a peek to the inside of Eckes in turn 4. Could not make the pass. That duo goes back to turn 1, JT, 7th and 8th on the track.
And Day, who is currently in 8th, was on the inside. Exit of turn 2, definitely turn 2 this time. Now slots behind him. And, well, look at the front left brakes on that 17 car. They are red, they are burning, and, well, they are feeling hot.
Burning. Brake rotors, yes. Brake rotors are cherry red on the 17 of Corey Day. Burn. Well, anyway. I will keep from
USN Out
singing.
of Context 3, coming to a USN YouTube channel soon.
Yes, indeed. Justin Allgaier, as Bob says in the comments, knifing through the field. He absolutely is. After that speeding penalty during the stage caution, Allgaier has rebounded all the way up to the 15th position. That car is obviously very good. He won the second stage. 62 laps to go, and we've had a change at second. Another car knifing his way through the field, JT, is Eric Almirola.
Yes, and that is up in towards second now with lapped cars as well. That is the number 14 of Garrett Smithley. A lot of lapped cars getting in the way now, and well, we still have 61 laps to go, and well, they will become more apparent the more we progress in this final stage. Now to the inside of Joey Gase.
Very colorful Joey Gase car, light blue and light green on that 53 that Almirola is going to get around. Jesse Love will do the same. They'll also have to get around the Glenn Reen machine. So, working lap 100 as we speak. And the CW showing us a replay of Almirola's overtake on Jesse Love for the second position. Of course, Almirola, a winner earlier this year at Phoenix, as I mentioned earlier, which is a racetrack, again, not in shape. It's not shaped similarly to Gateway JT, but it does drive a lot alike, Phoenix and Gateway.
Yeah, absolutely. Comparisons are always made, but sometimes comparisons, they're compared to the wrong things. But here is the 21 straight down the inside of the 20. Look at the speed that Austin Hill carried then.
Austin Hill and Brandon Jones, cars 20 and 21, and Jones around the outside of turn 4, my goodness. Powered it around the outside. Jones has had that spot. Hill is trying to take it away, but can't do it. Meanwhile, the Burton cousins are at it again. This is at 19th and 20th. Jeb has gotten around Harrison. But again, I'll just mention again, JT, problem for Jeb is it's not good enough for him to just finish ahead of Harrison. He's got to finish ahead of him by a lot.
Yeah, that point difference is quite significant, which is why we keep mentioning that as well. As here is the 27 up the inside as we return back to live now side by side with Eckes and Day.
Yeah, Corey Day still trying to get by Christian Eckes, and I think he's going to do it this time in turn 2.
And he does, and well, has already pulled a car length, 2 car lengths now. And well, he has passed the 16 car and he's gone bye-bye.
By the way, in the, let's see, where are we at here? In the live playoff standings given to us by the NASCAR app. Well, that's absolutely wrong because they're counting Eric Almirola as in the playoffs, and as we know, he doesn't even run full-time. So then that means I have to do math. Okay. Because it's got Harrison Burton below the cut line because Almirola's above it, which is strange. Anyway, in the live standings, Harrison is 29 points ahead of Jeb. Started the night 31 ahead of him. He's now 29 ahead of him, so still a big gap there for Harrison. Just needs to avoid any kind of disaster in this last stage, and he'll be through into the playoffs. Justin Allgaier, this is not a track where it's overly easy to pass, especially as the run goes on. But Justin Allgaier is absolutely flying through this field, JT, after his speeding penalty. He's already jumped inside the top 15. Where is he running? He's 13th on the track, trying to take 12th from Taylor Gray.
Which he is looking to do down the backstretch. He's later on the brakes. He carries some more speed, and well, he gets absolutely launched in towards turn 3, and that was a very easy move.
Yep, so Allgaier up into 12th. Meanwhile, John in the comments says, go Eckes. If he wins, does he make the playoffs? Yes. So if Eckes were to find a way to win, he would jump into the playoffs and knock Harrison Burton out. Same can be said for if William Sawalich wins. Those are the only 2 in the top 10 right now that are full-time drivers that if they were to win, they would jump into the playoffs. Sawalich at 4th and Eckes at 8th. Speaking of Sawalich at 4th, in fact, he is starting to close in on Love. Love is backsliding here off this restart, isn't he, JT? And the fight for 3rd is a 4-way fight.
Yep, it has become a 4-way fight now, as you mentioned. Here is that fight, and Swallows looking to get up the inside of Love. Jones looking to get round the outside of Swallows in the meantime as well.
And Austin Hill latched onto the back of this battle as Brandon Jones has closed right up underneath the rear spoiler of Sawalich. Austin Hill just got a great run off of turn 4 to close right in on the back of all of them.
And all single file. As we speak, down the backstretch we go. Jesse Love still in the lead of this four-way fight for third.
And yes, as Bob says, we should be getting pit stops here fairly soon. Did not have any green flag pit stops in those first two stages because they were just 35 laps each, but we will see stops for tires and fuel in this stage here fairly soon. You would probably think JT in about, depending on what crew chiefs want to try to play, probably between about 15 and 30 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned pit stops, you mentioned pit road, 35 of Glenn Veen. It's the first time we've mentioned him today. He has just entered the pits.
So the 35 of Glenn. Oh, and there's trouble, and it's Jeb Burton off turn 2. He's hit the wall hard.
And the caution is out.
And that's it. He is done. Jeb Burton will not make the playoffs in 2025 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He has hit the wall a ton with the right front, either in turn 2 or just off of turn 2. The only driver that had a chance to overtake Harrison Burton for the final playoff spot on points is out of this race. He has massacred the wall, JT. Right front is now on fire. He's going to try to drive it back to pit road. He might be better off just stopping somewhere and letting the fire marshals tend to that car.
Yeah, the sparks have ignited something under that front of the car, and well, that car has definitely seen better days. I'll be interested to see the replay on this. He has come
The whole
to stop,
wheel is on fire, the whole thing.
which, as we know, tires and fire doesn't really go together because it's rubber. NASCAR officials are down there though.
Wow. So caution comes out, just our second caution for cause in this race. It comes with 50 laps to go. Jeb did get into his pit box, as JT mentioned. He climbs out of his car. Of course, remember how dejected Jeb Burton was after coming up just short in the photo finish at Talladega to Austin Hill.
Ouch.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a hit. That car just stopped turning on the exit of turn 2. And again, you'd have to say either a right front tire went down or something broke inside the car. And I mean, that is a savage hit with the right front of it. That's close to a head-on hit.
Yeah, that was a one-way ticket to, well, sparks, and one-way ticket to wall.
Wow.
That is definitely one way to not get into playoffs. And he is absolutely devastated.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Talladega earlier in the spring, he was running side by side with Austin Hill on the last lap when the caution came out and Hill was just a few inches in front of him. Jeb was so emotional after that race. Of course, if he wins that race, he would have already been in the playoffs tonight trying to make it, and it's not going to happen for him. Something obviously broke big time in the right front of that car, and he has taken an almighty hit into the turn 2 wall. Did climb out of his car under his own power. NASCAR official is there. Of course, even though he did drive back to pit road, they've got to get him to the infield care center. That is mandatory. That is a hard, hard impact.
And we mentioned earlier on about how it doesn't get to the high speeds we see at other circuits like Daytona, like Talladega. But it does reach high speeds, and, well, when it bites, it does bite, and, well, that was a perfect example of that. So, we were just talking about how pit stops are going to happen shortly. Well,
they're definitely going to happen shortly once they open pit road, which they can't do at least for a little bit until they make sure it's all clear from Jeb coming down with all the debris, sparks, and fire spitting out of his car. But once they open pit road, everyone will be in for their last scheduled stop of the race. And we know how important pit road has been already in this race, JT. Connor Zilich at the Stage 1 caution lost the lead and then did not get it back in Stage 2. The only way he did get it back was on pit road again at the end of that second stage. And we also know that it's put Justin Allgaier and Eric Almirola in traffic, pit road has. So these will be important pit stops when they happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, just like Justin Allgaier didn't do, you need to keep it under the speed limit, and you need to keep all of the penalties away. The 27 car of Jeb Burton now turning behind the wall because there were two cars that came down pit road while it was closed, and I don't think NASCAR will be very happy about that. Garrett Smithley and Joey Gase.
No, probably not. I don't know why they would need to come down so urgently.
Okay, so latest update from Bob Pockfast, the man himself. Creed has clinched a spot. If no new winner, Gray and Harrison Burton would be in. If there is a new winner, Harrison Burton would need to finish 32 spots ahead of Gray, or 31, and have fastest lap.
Well, and that's not going to happen either because of just the amount of cars that are off the lead lap and out of the race. I mean, Taylor Gray would have to fall out right now, and then Harrison would have to run, top 3, which he has not shown us that he can get anywhere close to doing tonight.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. But yes, Quaffle is in, Creed is in. And then to your point, Gray, we might as well just say Taylor Gray is in. It would take what would be a miracle for Harrison and an absolute nightmare for Gray to fall below him in the standings. And then Harrison just needs to not have a guy like William Sawalich or Christian Eckes win.
Absolutely.
Xfinity Series playoffs begin next Friday night on the world's fastest half mile, the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. That's next Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is much like the Cup Series playoffs, but there is only 12 drivers and only 3 rounds in the Xfinity playoffs that go across 7 races. You have the round of 12 at Bristol, Kansas, and the Roval at Charlotte. You've got the round of 8 at Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship race on Saturday night, November the 1st, at the Phoenix Raceway. That's the playoff schedule. Bristol next Friday night. I'll be hating to miss Bristol, JT. I do have another assignment to be on, so I do hate to be missing the playoff opener at Bristol next week.
Noted.
As we're going to have the leaders hit pit road here, coming to 45 laps to go.
Progressive pit road is open. Huge stops here. Got to execute. Zilich leading them in. Here's Kim.
And Adam, William Sawalich's crew has done a fabulous job all night, gaining them spots on both of the previous 2 stops. They'll look for a fast and clean stop here right now. William complaining if he could just get a little help on the exit of 2, he thinks it'll be better. Just tight, can't finish the corner like he wants. Also lost rear grip on the run, so they will free him up just a little bit as they put on 4 fresh Goodyear tires. You saw that chassis adjustment, Dylan.
Eric Almirola felt like they'd taken rear lateral grip away, and also just felt like the car's starting to tighten up again on him that run. 4 tires, maybe an air pressure adjustment for him. Jesse Love was battling a loose end in a very tight race car. Also had no brakes at the end of that run, so they were telling him to work on his fans. Connor Zilich said he's as good as they've been all night and vetoed Marty Lindley wanting to make a chassis adjustment to potentially tighten them up. Zilich is happy in the 88.
Yeah, 88 holds serve on the pit lane as they exit Progressive Pit Road. Almirola comes off behind him.
So Zilich holding on to the lead. By the way, I don't think we mentioned that was great avoidance from Brennan Poole to not spin in avoidance of Jeb Burton's crash. By the way, I'm just trying to catch up on what in the world. Have you been following this story over the last day, JT, about this Phillies thing that happened at the Phillies game last night?
No, I have not.
Phillies. So a Phillies player hit a home run, and a fan.
Yeah, I think I have seen this. Yeah.
Fan ran over to get the ball for his kid, and then this woman
Yes, I have seen this.
made a beeline to him and just scolded him like crazy. What a what a wild story this has been. This was at a Marlins game. It was not in Philadelphia. It was at a Marlins game in Miami, but it was a Phillies fan. So the guy goes over to get the home run ball that dropped at the feet of this woman, and boy, this woman just came flying over, totally berate him. And then he gave the ball back to her because she made such a big deal out of it. And I guess the Marlins, I mean, everybody was taking pictures of it and videos of it on social media, and the Marlins ended up finding.
2025.
Oh, that's right. And the Marlins ended up finding the dad and his kid and gave them all kinds of stuff, ball and all kinds of apparel. So,
I mean, you could say it was a win-win. Or a win.
It was a strange situation, I'll tell you that.
Or a get what I want / win for the others. I don't know. All I have to say as an outsider is America, but then again, you look at the UK and you can't say anything better, can you? We have turned, and I won't get involved in this, and this is all I will say about this matter, but the UK has turned to put in English flags literally every single turn you go, and we are zip tying them. Well, not me. The people are zip tying them to bridges, to tops of lampposts. Yeah, it's going well here. So yeah, we're not that much better. Anyway, guys. By the way, believe it or not, new way. There is a motor race going on with 43 laps
You've
to
been
go.
on that all night, haven't you?
This is the third one and counting. One in each stage so far, and this camera tells me that in 1 second the lights will go out. There we are. They only go to that camera when it's the
right. Bob says, "Gee, I wonder if she felt guilty after all that or embarrassed." I hope she felt embarrassed. That was a joke. Michael says, "So now Harrison is in the playoffs." Well, he is guaranteed the last playoff spot if there is not a new winner, like a William Sawalich or Christian Eckes. If someone below the cut line that has not won this year wins, they can still knock Harrison out. But remember, guys like Corey Day or Eric Almirola cannot knock him out because they are not full-time competitors in the series. So Harrison is, what do you think, JT? 98% chance he'll get in?
Yeah.
But we always have to make sure that
It is
Sawalich or Eckes or
NASCAR.
anyone else like that wins.
It is NASCAR at the end of the day. Real quick, before we go green, row 1, inside Almirola, outside Zillage. Row 2, Love, Brandon Jones, Creed, Austin Hill. Row 3, row 4, Swallish. And Day, row 5, Gray and Eckes. Row 2 down. The outside has gained 1 place, inside have lost 1 place. Here we go to the green. 41 to go.
Coming to the restart zone, and Zillage stacks them up in the restart zone. Green flag waves. Everyone spreads out down the straightaway to keep from running over each other, as Zillage had them really stacked up, very slow through the restart zone, JT.
Yeah, absolutely, as Jeb Burton has been released from the care centre, so hopefully we'll hear from him soon, as Zillage is trying to control both the inside and the outside lane, but they are looking to go 3 wide, possibly as Almirola and Brandon Jones go wide.
Oh!
And Almirola gets loose. Here comes Jesse Love.
Jesse Love tries to break down the inside of both Jones and Almirola, and he doesn't. He passes Jones. He passes Almirola. Sheldon Creed going to try to follow him through. It's a big knot of cars as Connor Zillage tries to walk away from it.
And Jones getting loose as he goes down to the inside line. He will go to the inside of the 00 of Sheldon Creed. It's all getting loose. And, well, Austin Hill is in the middle of it. But out in front, Connor Zillage once again sets the Xfinity fastest lap. 33.492, 134.36 miles per hour. There was heavy contact in that stack up, Matthew.
Yeah, that was Anthony Alfredo running into the back of Thomas Annunziata. That was
Eckes
12 rows back or so. But yeah, there had to be some amount of contact in that for how slow Zillage brought everyone through the restart zone. He was trying to play some games on the restart, Zillage.
Look at the back of Eckes.
Yeah, Eckes has been punched by someone from behind, you're right. So Eckes has damage, but he has just made a pass on Austin Hill. In fact, where that damage is might actually help the car, if anything. So Eckes moves up into 8th, passing Austin Hill. What about Justin Allgaier, middle of the pack, JT? Still trying to make up ground. He's around Nick Sanchez and Daniel Dye.
And momentarily, he was 3 wide going through turn 2. Returns to double file, but back out near the front, it's Sam Mayer making moves once again. Never mind.
Ooh, Allgaier got very loose a moment ago in turn 4, washed up into Nick Sanchez he went, and those two hip-checked one another. Allgaier was really flying through the field before the caution. He's back in 16th as we speak with 37 laps to go.
As we continue down the backstretch once more, it's Austin Hill. Then it's the 11 of Henrik on the inside, as we are on board with Gray. Looking forward to that battle. Across the line we go once more.
Connor Zillage trying to stretch away at the front, leading by a 2nd and a 3rd over Jesse Love. Here's Sam Mayer in turn 1, going after Daniel Hemrick for 10th. Let's hear from Jeb Burton.
Restart was good by the
Short run today, but our long run speed was pretty good, so just hate it for my guys. Wanted to not get a DNF, but it was kind of out of our control, but that was a hard hit. Definitely didn't feel good, but appreciate my guys, appreciate Onderlaw and all the Bomberito Autosport guys that help us, and yeah, it just sucks, but we'll go into Bristol next week.
Thanks, Jeff. Glad you're okay.
battle for 9th.
Sammy Smith was way up the track in turn 2 last lap, lost a lot of spots. Here's Sam Mayer going to get around Austin Hill in turn 2.
And he will try to get around, isn't able to do it. We are back on board with Taylor Gray looking ahead. It's Daniel Hemrick on the low inside. It's Austin Hill in the 21 on the high outside line, a line that we've not really seen used today, but Austin Hill right around the outside. We are 3 wide, nearly 4 wide further back.
Harrison Burton is pushing Kyle Sieg down the front straightaway. He pushes Kyle past Dean Thompson and Brennan Poole. Harrison's going to try to get around those two. Well, Harrison loose off the bottom of turn 2.
We were still 3 wide for a moment. We are on board with Harrison Burton. He's got the 44 of Poole trying to go round to his outside. Harrison Burton is dropping. continuing to drop. He is able to claw back. He's later on the brakes, and, well, Paul still behind the 25 car.
Onto the main straightaway comes this group of traffic with 33 laps to go. Meanwhile, change of fifth in turn 2.
And that is for Sheldon Creed, who has just gotten in front of the number 18 car of William Swallows. As now we see the battle for fifth graphic as we continue round. But now Swallows up, trying to look up the inside of Sheldon Creed, Matthew, as we exit turn 4.
Well, Creed has made that pass on Sawalich, and Sawalich's chances at the playoffs starting to look worse and worse, JT. He's had a really good second half of the season. We know how bad William had it at the beginning of the year. And then Harrison Burton in turn 2. Is he going to miss everybody? Wow.
I think so. But
everyone misses Harrison, but wow. Harrison Burton into a smoky spin in turn number 2. Loops it around. Everyone avoided him. He avoided the wall. Caution comes out with 31 laps to go.
I mean, you cannot like this stuff. What, as we see a replay before I get into that point, Matthew?
Goodness, there are a lot of cars in that one area. I have no idea what happened. He was running right in front of Brennan Poole. Yeah, Brennan Poole was the car behind him. Harrison went into the corner high. Oh, and came, well, thought he came down. Then I thought Brennan came up. It may have both happened. Harrison may have come down a bit. Brennan went up a bit. Came across each other's paths.
Here's the onboards.
Well, again, Harrison is going to be into the playoffs unless we get a new winner tonight. So really, from here on out, his finishing position does not matter, JT. It's all about what the likes of Sawalich and Eckes does.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to mention just before that happened, update on the number 7 of Justin Allgaier. The crew chief has told Allgaier. Sorry, no, the crew chief tells the spotter of Justin Allgaier that they are killed and just to run these last few laps as the restart stack up is what cost Allgaier there. I thought we had some audio there from the pit wall, but obviously not. They just like showing crew chiefs and people on the pit wall without any audio. Anyway, we are under caution. 30 laps to go, and I am going to say it because I want to be out of here on time. But I'm not going to say it directly. Just the trend, the trend that we're going in. If we could keep that, please. I didn't technically say it directly. I didn't say no more of that coloured flag.
You're just trying really hard here, aren't you?
It is 25 past 2 in the morning, and I have to be up at 9 a.m. I have to be up in 6.5 hours.
Got some cars on pit road, including Austin Hill.
Oh, we do have pit reporters.
She said, I can't touch throttle or anything, can't do anything with this car. Worst it's been all day, so they will look for some slight adjustments. You see the chassis wrench going in right there. And then as we talk about Harrison Burton, that spin out on the radio, he did ask, was that his fault or did the 44 Brennan Poole wash up? They told him he washed up, it was not your fault. But Harrison's response was, we have to execute better. We cannot be running back here. We have to be contending up further. Can't get in other people's messes. Remember, they used all 3 sets of fresh Goodyear tires that are cold, scuffed tires going on that car for Harrison Burton.
Yeah, it's a great...
Well, believe it or not, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I don't think those tires that he just spun on are fresh anymore.
No.
Problems with Sammy Smith.
Just going to step away one moment, JT, if you want to go down to pit road and see if we're getting a report on that.
I have nothing, but, well, what... yes, we do have Sammy Smith mentioned from Adam Alexander.
It was outstanding late in the summer, but the last couple of weeks things have not gone their way, and Hood is up now for driver aid, Kim.
Yeah, you see fluid going in. He was reporting losing brakes. They were just getting way too hot. Lost brake fluid, too, so they're pitting to fix that. They'll change tires as well. Sammy Smith just not the day that they have wanted. They were hoping for momentum as we kick the playoffs off next week at Bristol.
You see that little bit of fire in the right rear. That's where they bled the brakes. The fluids come out. It's gotten on the rotor, and it's starting a small fire. It's interesting, though, Parker, to me, that the rears are the ones that he's lost and not the fronts.
Yeah, that was odd. It's usually the fronts there that you see. So sometimes it can be the heat and just what those brakes or how you have them set up that can cause that. But obviously they knew where the issue was. As you see smoke, that could be some of that excess fluid coming out.
Sammy from Iowa, great battle today in the state of Iowa. College football, Iowa State. When we're done here in St. Louis, more football on the CW. Going out west, San Diego State, Washington State. Kickoff set for 10:15 Eastern time. Should allow us to finish this race, hear from all these playoff drivers, and then more football. The third football game we've had on the college side today on the CW. Just been an outstanding Saturday.
So that's looking a little worse than just some of the fluid that's actually the 8 car has probably had an issue here. There it is. So it's looking a little bit worse than what we've...
well, that's not just excess fluid.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, there's more there. And as he was exiting right here off of pit road, you see all that smoke start to come out of the back of that car. And I got to think that that's maybe where he's pumped the brakes up, and maybe that line is loose, or they burnt through a line. That seems like a lot of smoke to me for brakes, but the fact that that's what they worked on, you got to assume that's what it is.
I wonder if they were maybe even just closing off that right rear caliper. It felt like it was maybe leaking or had an issue, so you close that line off, potentially. Could have been what they were doing. That's why they added the fluid as well. And now it's, continue to find a way out.
Whatever
it's not good. It's not what you want to see.
Not good.
We do the choose, and everybody kind of taking their shot at Connor Zilich. And it's going to be his buddy Jesse Love who gets his chance now, restarting on the front row. Love on the inside of Zilich.
And Love has been exceptional on these restarts. That car has really good short-run speed. I'm going to say he's going to be the guy that can give the 88 a run for his money here on this restart.
Allgaier 12th prior to the choose.
That is my...
Yes. Does that mean I can go to sleep 27 now, about to become 26? That's early because we know who's going to win this. And that is not how to do a NASCAR Xfinity Series Restart 101. I cursed it, didn't I?
Boy. Boy. Oh boy. That was not pretty. I can't tell which was the first car. There was one car, about 4 or 5 rows back that couldn't get going. And that's what got everyone stacked up, and then in avoidance, this is how all of that's how all of it started. Sanchez to pit road, Allgaier to pit road. Oh, it's Sheldon Creed damaged. He may have been the one that didn't get going. What a mess.
Here's a full replay from the aerial cam, Matthew.
I think that was Creed, wasn't it? At the third row, actually. Just couldn't get going. I think it may have been Corey Day that ran into him from behind. And then, as just everyone, this is a very narrow track. Creed on the outside of row 3 actually got going pretty good, and then the car sputters on him. Corey Day runs right into the back of him, turns him towards the outside wall. Sam Mayer gets clipped by Creed, so the two Haas Factory team teammates. Oh, dear. And then Mayer got turned after he got clipped down into Allgaier, who collected Gray, who collected Sanchez. Dean Thompson got turned around in it. And then Allgaier's just getting pinballed around, and once he comes off the outside wall, he comes back down in the middle of the track, and Ryan Sieg hits him. So Allgaier gets hit all over the place. Once by Mayer, once by Gray, once by Sanchez, once by the wall, once by Sieg. And that will give Connor Zilic the regular season championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the 15 additional playoff points that come with it. Harrison Burton avoiding all of it. Man, oh man. That was a heavy hit too, JT, that Sam Mayer took when he got clipped by Creed and came down into Allgaier. That shot him straight up into the wall.
Yeah, he got turned near on head on with the wall. Well, the NCS Severe Crash Prediction Center, another little bit of fun we have, had an outlook of, as I thought that was thunder then, but it's just very strong wind. I might have to check that actually. That was out of nowhere. It was so loud that I heard it over my headset, which is very hard to do. Anyway, the Severe Crash Prediction Center has had a outlook for the big one as 5%. They quote, and the forecast was going so well, we found the 5%.
Ryan Sieg, all that damage. Nose caved in on that car when Allgaier came down in front of him. Cars involved in this crash, 10 of them. Creed, Allgaier, Day, Thompson, Kyle, and Ryan Sieg, Mayer, Sanchez, Clements, and Gray. All cars involved in the crash. 10 cars wiped into this incident.
Ah yes, it is indeed blowing a gust outside.
Blowing a gust.
It's 20 miles per hour, 32.19 kilometers per hour for anyone who uses kilometers per hour.
No one that I know.
Yes, but it's a bit different to the whole everyone in the world uses Celsius except this one country. You went very silent there, Matthew.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, takes a genius to answer that.
Anyway,
Holy smokes.
Sheldon Creed has lost his third gear.
Oh.
Okay, so there is the big one rating scale. And it is, and I shall explain it, 5 to 7 cars involved is the small one, 8 to 10 cars involved is the moderate one, 11 to 15 cars involved is the big one, 16 to 21 the huge one, 22 to 25 the massive one, 26 to 30 cars involved, the super massive one, 31 plus cars involved is the record breaker, and the clean sweep is all cars on track involved. 10 cars were involved, so it is the high-end moderate one we just had here. that is...
High and moderate.
Yes, that is the Big One rating scale, and, well, I can tell you that those 10 cars were the 00, the 7, the 17, the 26, the 28, the 39, the 41, the 48, the 51, and the 54 for an incident in turn 1 at the restart. Now, well, I did try and say it the more indirect way, but I think I'm no comment. Please do not blame me for this going all chaotic, because, well, that wasn't me. I just want to have some some not even decent, some all right sleep.
Well, I just want to mention again, as we are before we get this restart, this generational run that Connor Zilisch is on. He has won, as I mentioned, 3 straight races. He's won 6 of the last 7 races. His worst finish in the last 10 races has been 4th. He has 13 straight top 5 finishes. I don't know which of those stats, JT, are more insane. That he's won 6 of the last 7 races, or that he has 13 straight top 5s.
13? There's a lot of different circuits in 13, isn't there? Lots of different types.
Yes, the 13 top 5s in a row that he has, just for the sake of knowledge: Charlotte, Nashville, Mexico City, Pocono, Atlanta, Chicago streets, Sonoma, Dover, Indianapolis, Iowa, Watkins Glen, Daytona, and Portland.
Literally every single type of track you could get.
It's just unbelievable. And the 6 wins in the last 7 races: Sonoma, Dover, Indianapolis, 4th at Iowa, and then wins at Watkins Glen, Daytona, and Portland. It's just absolutely insane.
Yes, because we absolutely love the Parker Zilisch win.
Still have not gotten one to go, as there are now 20 laps to go in the race. Can he win for a 4th straight race? He won 3 in a row at Sonoma, Dover, and Indianapolis. His pursuit for a 4th straight win at Iowa came up short with a 4th place finish. JT, let's quickly hear from Sam Mayer.
Result too.
Yeah, I feel like we were coming to our probably best point of the race, and we were going to be in an okay spot to actually have a decent finish. This team has been the top 5 team of the year. Like, I feel like we've always been there and been a part of the races and wins at the end. We haven't always won, but we were always there. But yeah, just really unfortunate way to end that one. This place is so much fun. I always love coming here. Wish we would have had a little bit better of an Audubon Ford Mustang. I'm not going to say it's as fast as Xfinity Mobile. Oh, wait. But, you know, it's, yeah, just really proud of everybody for sticking with me throughout the day and making the most of it. But obviously it didn't end in our favor. But, yep, we'll be good for the playoffs. We're all right.
Thanks, Sam. He's headed to Bristol.
Thank you for that, Sam. They just can't help themselves. Let's see if we get one to go this time.
Please, for my sanity.
He's begging. They gave us his camera last time and they didn't, but this time they do. Zilisch will choose the outside, as the leader has done really all night long. Jesse Love, his good friend, will be to his inside. Row 2 will be William Sawalich and Eric Almirola. Again, William Sawalich in a must-win to make the playoffs. And we remember the desperate move he made on the overtime restart in Portland last weekend. What can he do up on this restart to get in position to lead and maybe win And just behind him in row 3 is going to be Christian Eckes, who's in the same boat as Sawalich. Must win to make the playoff. And for what it counts, the Daniel Dye and Parker Retzlaff are now into the top 10. If they win, they would take that playoff spot away. So Harrison Burton running in 20th, hoping that we do not get a new winner. Connor Zilic going after his 4th win in a row and his 9th of the season. His 8th win last week already. Broke the all-time Xfinity Series single-season rookie record. Here he is, bringing the field off of turn 4 into the restart zone with Jesse Love to his inside. Green flag goes back up into the air with 18 laps to go here at Gateway. Here comes Sawalich, cutting to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide with Love and Almirola for second.
Which...
Oh, we lost JT there. Sorry, Connor Zilic away with the lead in turn 3. Almirola is second. Eric Almirola underneath the rear spoiler. We've got a caution. Yellow flag is out. Big piece of debris lying on the middle of the front straightaway. Everyone trying to miss it, but Jeremy Clements hits it. Jeremy Clements hits the piece of debris that was lying right in the center of the front straightaway, and the caution comes out again. It's just for you, JT.
Yeah.
Hopefully we still have him. There he is. You can't leave yet. I know that was your attempt to get to bed.
And it was
You cannot
all
leave
yellow.
yet.
Now, I don't understand how that was only spotted just like then.
Just and then when Jeremy Clements hit it, it goes into many pieces. Yeah, I don't understand how they didn't spot that sooner. Caution is out. And Zilic will have to survive another restart. This time it'll be Eric Almirola, the one next to him.
Okay, so it was the starter who actually called it up to the scoring tower, because the scoring tower couldn't see it because it was right underneath the flag stand.
That restart was interesting, JT. We knew Sawalich was going to try something if he had the opportunity, and he did. And he tried to make it 3 wide. But the big deal, I think, is on the restart is that Almirola got through to second, because now you're going to have Eric alongside Zilic for the next restart rather than Love. And I think Eric has a good car.
Yeah, which will be interesting because, well, the more cautions we have, the more caution laps we have. And, well, you can have this as a Will Buxton quote as if you want. The more caution laps we run, the less green flag running we have at the other side.
How about that? That is incredible. That is an incredible realization.
Some people
from our guy right there, Josh Buxton.
Some people could respond to that with, "No way, Josh Buxton."
Oh dear.
It was the perfect time. I could not resist. Allgaier is a free pass, believe it or not.
Ah, with all of that damage to the 7 car, front, sides, and rear. Oh, lordy day. 15 laps to go as we work this caution. Whirlwind Productions, with us in the comments, says, my Thrustmaster TMX crapped out today, 5 1/4 years old. Any comments on that, JT?
No, I am busy. Well, no, sorry. I am occupied trying to create something for the chat, but YouTube have character limits, and I'm trying to get it under the character limit.
See, I just had to Google what a Thrustmaster TMX is, but now I see what it is. I had no idea. I was not aware. I have to be completely honest with you, with the name Thrustmaster, I didn't know what road we were going. To be completely, I was a bit scared of the road we might go down.
Okay.
But just telling you.
15 laps to go.
Now it's 14.
14 laps to go.
And I did not think that Whirlwind Productions would, bring us any kind of route like that. I just did not know what a Thrustmaster TMX was. Do you know what it is?
Is it something that I should put into my search engine?
Yes, it's like, it looks like a gaming steering wheel.
Oh, it's one of them. Yeah, something that I've been wanting to get.
Yeah. Now see this comment by Corey Gibson. This is what we've opened ourselves up to.
Are we opening up to random stuff we did today? Okay, I went to a Lego brick festival, and I brought tons of Lego, or for you Americans who have to put an S at the end of it, and must I remind you, it is Lego, it is not Legos. I got all of the F1 speed champions, the 10 speed champions. I got all of them. Let's just say that it was over. Let's just say it was in the 3 digits of dollars and pounds. That is all I will say.
All right, lights are out atop the Toyota Gazoo Racing Supra Pace car. We are going green this time. It'll be with 12 laps to go. And again, Connor Zilich, the control car, has chosen the outside. To his inside will be Eric Almirola. Jesse Love is on the inside of row 2. To his outside is William Sawalich. Row 3 will have Christian Eckes and Brandon Jones. JT, what do you think's going to happen next?
Please, can we just stay green? Please.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, we are playing Snake under caution, or Matt De Benedetto is playing Snake under caution, and everyone is following.
Yeah, De Benedetto into the top 10 here. Thank you, Corey. Thank you. You did a good job on the follow-up. You see, you were right on it. Well played. Pace car off to pit road. Zilich. Again, controlling a restart. Green flag up in the air. And Zilich got hit from behind. So nearly turned him down into Almirola. They hip-checked one another. They go into turn 1, side by side. Who's going to have the lead off turn 2, JT?
It is side by side, but it's Zilich. But look at Jesse Love. He's coming up the inside. And Almirola has just been left, and he is sinking like a rock. It's Zilich out in front.
So Zilich clear to the lead. Meanwhile, 3 wide behind him. Almirola turns down inside. Brandon Jones is there. Christian Eckes is there. But clear of the pack to second goes William Sawalich, who has to win to make the playoffs. Can he run down and pass Connor Zilich over the next 11 laps?
We will have to see, as he tried to go 3 wide, but Almirola went up to the outside, who then cuts down to the low side, doesn't realise that the number 16 is there. That was very close, Matthew.
Christian Eckes out of nowhere here, making up positions on the restart. He's past Brandon Jones. He makes contact on the front straightaway with Eric Almirola. Eckes has to win to make the playoffs. He's battling for fourth.
And he'll go up the inside to possibly make a free wide. They touch. All three of them come together, and somehow they are still heading in the right direction, Matthew.
Back to turn 3, and Eckes sweeps up ahead of Almirola, ahead of Jones. Christian Eckes double overtake up into the 3rd position. The leaders across the line with now just 9 laps to go. Connor Zilic leads from 2 drivers that do not have a win this year, William Sawalich and Christian Eckes.
As here is a replay of that restart, and well, that was quite a big hit.
Sawalich into the back of Zilic, would have turned him around had Eric Almirola not been there to straighten him out. And then Almirola tried to squeeze him up off of turn 2. I don't know how Zilic held on to the lead. Corey Day did hit the wall in turn 2, and then as JT told you, there was more contact in the Jones scrap with Almirola and Eckes. What a wild restart. And now at the front, JT, with 8 laps to go, Zilic's lead on Sawalich, 5-car length.
Heading down in towards turn 3 we go. The exhaust giving out a little flame as he heads round the turn, and across the line we go. Now 7 laps to go. It's still Swallows. Eckes still in 3rd with Brandon Jones just behind. Almirola dropped down to 5th after all of that. 7 to go.
Yeah, not a good restart and sequence for Eric Almirola. Of the 153 laps completed tonight, Connor Zilic has led 114 of them. It has been another classic Connor cataclysmic performance, at least cataclysmic to the rest of the field, as he has dominated the whole way. But can he hold on? He's out of turn 4. Across the line with just 6 laps remaining, his lead on William Sawalich is 3/4 of a second.
That's extended a quarter of a second for what it was last time around. We head down the back stretch now with only 6 laps to go. Swallows still in 2nd with Zilic still in front. That gap increasing even more by the looks of the eye.
Only 2 drivers have ever won 4 straight races in NASCAR Xfinity Series history. As far as we mean 4 straight races, not 4 straight appearances, like a Kyle Busch or a Carl Edwards running one-offs or part-times and winning 4 straight starts. Only twice has a driver won 4 straight races in this series. Noah Gragson was the last one to do it just a few years ago. Connor Zilic is less than 5 laps away from doing it. His lead stabilized at 3/4 of a second on Sawalich. Christian Eckes is 3rd. You've got 2 teenagers, 2 rookies rather, in 2nd and 3rd that need to win in Sawalich and Eckes. Across the line, Connor Zilic. 4 laps to go here at Gateway. Let's follow the leaders back to turns 1 and 2.
Which we enter now, and now exit on towards the backstretch. Still Zilic, still Swallows, still Eckes, still Brandon Jones. It's all single file throughout the whole field now. We're forming a little bit of a train, but we're still at those gaps. As we look down on that 16 car, that gap increasing further behind for 3rd and 4th.
Mentioned Noah Gragson winning 4 straight races in 2022. The only other one to do it, MR, 1983. Zilic is 3 laps away.
Heading out of turn 2 once more as we look at the Toyota Supra car of the number 18 of William Swallows, who is 3/4 of a second behind still. That gap is not closing. It is not gaining. It's staying the same, but it needs to close significantly if he wants to have a shot at this.
Yep, staying just about the exact same at 3/4 of a second. Zilic across the line. 2 laps to go. In fact, he's added more to the lead. It's 1 second now.
Yeah, Zilic out in front. And, well, if anything goes wrong, then Swallows is right there. But I don't think anything will go wrong. Connor Zillage. What a drive once again as we head to the white flag. Matthew, over to you.
The crowd is just waiting to explode. They're already shaking their fist and waving. Here's Zillage with the white flag. One more lap to go for 19-year-old Connor Zillage and his 4th consecutive Xfinity Series win.
Out of turn 2 for the final time on the white flag lap. He gets so close to the wall on the exit of turn 2. He very nearly thrusters it, doesn't. But he's in towards turn 3, Matthew, for Connor Zillage.
He puts the car into turn number 4. Through turn 4. He now sees the checkered flag from Brett Dalton. Here it is! Zillage wins the new way to soft by Blues Hog! Connor Zillage has won for the 4th consecutive race! His 9th win of the Xfinity Series season! His 4th consecutive win! His incredibly 7th win in the last 8 races. Connor Zillage has won at Gateway. The 19-year-old phenom is unstoppable. Zillage wins the race. He wins the regular season championship. And the final playoff positions are officially clinched by Taylor Gray and Harrison Burton. Wow.
And I can confirm to you, Matthew, that 75% of people say that Zillage winning the last 6 out of 7, now last 7 out of 8, is more impressive than 13 straight top 5s, now 14 straight top 5s.
Unbelievable. This guy. Unbelievable.
Of course, the regular season champion as well.
And 15 more playoff points.
Which he definitely needs.
Yeah. He scored 6 playoff points tonight by winning 1 stage and then the race. Then gets an additional 15 for winning the regular season championship. As he burns it down here on the main straightaway, his playoff point total is going to be out of this freaking world. He came into the night with 7 wins counting towards his playoffs, because he had 8, but 1 with Kligerman finishing the race he didn't get the playoff points for. So he came in with 7 race wins and 8 stage wins, which gave him 43 playoff points. He got 6 more tonight to give him 49. Will get an additional 15 for being the regular season champion. He's going to go into the playoffs with 64 playoff points. I mean, that is a ridiculous number. Meanwhile, for William Sawalich and Christian Eckes, they come up just short of getting their first wins and a playoff spot for themselves, but great runs for those 2 rookies to finish 2nd and 3rd. Meanwhile, for Zillage, here he goes again out of the escape hatch up top. And salutes a great crowd here at Gateway that has just seen history tonight. Connor Zillage wins his 4th race in a row, his 7th in the last 8, and his 9th of the year. He slides down the windshield and the roof of the car. And let's hear from this teenage racing sensation.
Yeah, Connor Zillage locks in the regular season championship. Also becomes only the 3rd driver in Xfinity Series history to get 4 wins in a row. Adds his name to the list of Sam Ard and Noah Gragson. Man, you were the dominant car all day long. Had to survive, though, a multiple late race restarts. How did you do it?
Yeah, that one was stressful. Man, that's awesome. 4 in a row. I think that's 7 of the last 8 for our WeatherTech Chevrolet team. Thank you, the WeatherTech. It's Cooper McNeil's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday. It's my mom's birthday today, so happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And, yeah, man, that's awesome. 4 in a row. A lot of fans here. It's awesome to come here to St. Louis and bring the Xfinity Series back here. So thank you guys for showing out tonight. And, yeah, that's awesome. We're going to celebrate this and the regular season championship.
This summer has been one for the history books. You culminate as the regular season champion. As you head to the playoffs, things kick off at Bristol. How confident are you can continue this run?
Man, this is gonna be tough to keep up. Honestly, you know, it's rare that you can go on a run like this, and every week I show up thinking, man, this is gonna be the weekend that we just go run 8th and just aren't great. But every weekend we show up and we're a winning race car, and my pit crew executes, my team executes, and everybody does their job, and we end up doing burnouts on the front stretch. So yeah, it's awesome to be able to do this and win this many races. This is the most wins JRM's ever won in a year as well. So really cool to do that for them as well.
Enjoy it.
Thank you, Kim.
Connor Zilich, a winner here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Dylan.
And Kim, for the second week in a row, William Sawalich comes up just one spot short of that first career win. Does that make it sting even that much more to be that close?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. That kind of is what it is. 88 was on rails tonight. I mean, I think he was definitely the best car all night, but our Sound Good GR Super was certainly as fast as Xfinity Mobile tonight. I mean, didn't make the playoffs, but we certainly gave them a run for their money. Aggressive all night, had good long run speed, short run speed, whatever you want to say, but proud of the boys to bring me a good car, and you know, there's always next year.
Your progression the last month or so, but just this whole year has been something that we've all witnessed and seen. To even be in this position, what does that say just about your resilience and the resilience of this team too, to even be in this spot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously never give up. That's never what you want to do. You just want to keep battling and putting in the hard work, studying, learning, like I've been doing, simulator, reviewing footage, whatever it is. I'm just trying to do what I can do to get better for the guys.
All right, that first win is right around the corner, it seems like, for William Sawalich. Valiant effort, but comes up just a spot short.
2 words come.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to hang his head about for William Sawalich. He had just a rough first half of his rookie season. Didn't have good runs, made mistakes, also had things happen to him that was out of his control, but he has really turned it around these last couple of months. And even though he won't be a part of the playoffs, you could very definitely see William Sawalich winning one of these playoff races, as you just heard Dylan Welch say, his second straight second-place finish. He was also second at Portland last weekend to the same driver, Connor Zilich, who gets his 9th win of the season. He is making a mockery of the NASCAR Xfinity Series right now. And this guy is just incredible. Of course, going full-time cup racing with Trackhouse next year. And the expectations are going to be sky high. But his focus now is over these next 7 races to try to go in to the Cup Series next year as an Xfinity Series champion. And we know the playoffs are this crazy, wild gauntlet. But we'll see if he can win the title. JT has done a great job at quickly getting the points up. Now, this is not the reset for the playoffs. This is not the reseed. But Connor Zilich does win the regular season championship officially over Justin Allgaier by 53 points. Sam Mayer finishes 3rd in the regular season championship. Jesse 4th. Austin Hill 5th. Brandon Jones 6th. Carson Quaffle 7th. Taylor Gray 8th. Sheldon Creed 9th. And Sammy Smith 10th. A reminder, those 10 drivers will get additional playoff points for finishing in the top 10 in the regular season standings. Zilich, by winning that championship, will get an additional 15 playoff points. Allgaier at 2nd will get 10. Mayer at 3rd will get 8, and then they are by 1 point each position. Mayer at 3rd, 8th, Love at 4th, 7, and so on. But a reminder that Austin Hill, playoff points that he would have gotten, he cannot take into the playoffs because, of course, he was suspended for a race this year due to his intentional right rear hook of Eric Almirola at Indianapolis. And that final playoff spot does indeed go to Harrison Burton, as we mentioned. He ends up getting that final spot officially by 45 points over Jeb Burton, 47 over Christian Eckes, who did leapfrog Ryan Sieg in the championship standings here tonight. Big thanks to JT for getting those up very quickly. And before we sign off, we will get you the reseed for the Xfinity Series playoffs when we reset all the points to 2,000 and then add in the playoff points to create the playoff standings. We'll get that to you before we sign off the air because we should have those via somebody here very shortly. While we wait for that, by the way, last 14 races, we talk about this is now a 14 race top 5 streak for Zilich. His average finish over those last 14 races is 1.9. I can't even fathom that. But while we wait for the reseeded standings, JT, your thoughts over this 200-mile race just outside of St. Louis tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. We did get done. The race, we did get done before 3 a.m. Not the broadcast, but the race did get done.
Yeah, we did. Very good. Happy about that.
Yes.
And now we do have the reseed for the playoff standings. I have them in front of me here. So listen along here, as now, here are how the playoff standings stack up heading into the playoff opener next Friday night in Bristol, Tennessee. Connor Zilich with those 64 playoff points that we talked to you about. Just incredible. Zilich will start the playoffs leading the championship standings, and now all of the numbers are to the cut line. So Connor Zilich, 59 points above the cut line. Justin Allgaier will be 30 points above the cut line. Again, this reseed is made by setting all of the playoff drivers to 2,000 points, and then adding to those 2,000 points all the playoff points accrued throughout the season from race and stage victories. So Zilich plus 59, Justin Allgaier plus 30. They have pulled way away from the rest of the pack. Then Sam Mayer third at plus 11. Jesse Love and Brandon Jones at 4th and 5th. Both are 8 points above the cut line. Sammy Smith at 6th is plus 4. Nick Sanchez at 7th is plus 1. And starting the playoffs, Taylor Gray holds the final spot above the cut line, which for this first round is 8th. He has that spot via a tiebreaker on Carson Quaffle. So Gray is plus 0. Quaffle is minus 0. Also below the cut line is Sheldon Creed at minus 2, Harrison Burton at minus 3, and Austin Hill at minus 5. So that's how the standings look going into Bristol next week. And just to tell you how many playoff points Zilich ended up with and just how huge those are, he's 59 points above the cut line. Maximum point gain possible in one race with the addition of the Xfinity fastest lap point is 60. So you can score 61 points in a race if you win both the stages, win the race, and get the Xfinity fastest lap point. That's how you get 61 points, and every driver is guaranteed at least one championship point. That's why maximum point gain possible is 60. And with that said, JT, his lead on the cut line heading to next week is 59.
He's put himself in an incredible place for this playoffs, let's be honest. And, well, it's gonna... I don't want it to be the case of Connor Zilich has done this well in the regular season and look at the absolute mess it's been in the playoffs, because, well, then that would put proper question marks on the playoff system if that was to happen.
Right. Now, again, not sitting here saying that he couldn't drop below the cut line, because, again, he could have a terrible race at Bristol, get caught up in something crazy. Anything can happen in this sport. But 59, I don't know if I have ever quite seen starting a round anyone be that far ahead of the cut line. And if he makes it through the first round, which we obviously expect to happen, that number will be smaller when we trim the field to 8 and the cut line to 4th. But it would still be a massive number, because right now his point advantage on 4th is 51. So it's still going to be huge.
And let's be honest, he will probably get into the round of 8 with a win.
Right. Again, the playoff schedule, the round of 12 begins at Bristol, then they have an off week, then it continues in Kansas City, and then the elimination race at the Charlotte Roval. He will at the very least be the favorite to win that Charlotte race. I don't know where he'll be among the favorites list at Bristol and Kansas, but he'll absolutely be the favorite at the Roval. The round of 8 includes Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville. Remember, Zilich was leading with half a lap to go at Talladega before round and hit the wall head on, and that's what caused the back injury and him to miss the Texas race. And the championship race at Phoenix in November, where earlier this year Zilich only finished 16th. Just for whatever that's worth. So you got Zilich 59 points above the cut line. Allgaier at plus 30, JT. But then 3rd to 12th is only a separation of 16 points from 3rd place Sam Mayer to 12th Austin Hill.
Yeah, which is a big talking point, of course, going into the playoffs. Well, the trophy is the Arch, and, well, he's probably going to be running out of space.
Yes, he is. So, that's how the playoffs will begin next Friday night up in Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee. We hope you will join us on USRN2 and JBM for the playoff opener next Friday night. Connor Zilich has won again. JT, big thanks to you as always, and we'll set sail for the Cup race tomorrow afternoon.